Chapter 13:13. Yang Wu's two innate powers merged with the god's grave chi and entered the second stage. After Yang Wu's saint body reached the great success stage, the innate powers of the second stage became even more powerful. Every sweep of his arm was like a huge python rushing out and devouring the god's corpse. The wind god's kick increased his speed and kicked out a storm of wind blades that could destroy everything. After Yang Wu reached the 7th level of the celestial rune realm, he was really powerful. Boundless power of the stars descended from the Emperor's star. Every move of his contained the power of a huge star. With Yang Wu's current combat power, he could withstand the power of the stars of other saints at the peak of the celestial rune realm. A saint at the peak of the celestial rune realm could withstand the power of one star. But Yang Wu had already surpassed this range and reached the power of 7 stars. In other words, every level of the celestial rune realm could withstand the power of 1 star. At the 7th level of the celestial rune realm, he could withstand the power of 7 stars. The power of 7 stars stacked together to form a huge star. His combat power was no joke. This was the true power of a great success saint body. Under Yang Wu's all-out attack, the god's corpse was not in a good condition. Wounds appeared on his divine body. If this continued, Yang Wu might really kill him. The god's corpse had reached the divine realm and was not easily defeated. The evil corpse chi of the god's corpse formed a terrifying field that wrapped around Yang Wu layer by layer. He was confident that no living creature could stop the evil corpse chi and that Yang Wu would definitely be killed by him. In addition, he was not afraid of pain. Unless his vitality was completely destroyed, he could continue to fight. Moreover, he believed that his divine body was stronger than Yang Wu's. Just as he thought that he had gained the upper hand, a terrifying power of thunder and lightning suddenly descended. Electric fork magnetic field. The boundless power of thunder and lightning swept over wave after wave. The electric forks twisted around the god's corpse and broke his divine body. They entered his body and cut off his vitality. This time, the god corpse was scared. The extreme yang power of thunder and lightning just so happened to be the nemesis of his corpse evil chi. It continued to destroy his life force. If this continued, he would definitely be killed by Yang Wu. Yang Wu was like the god of thunder, controlling the power of thunder and lightning. Many electric forks bombarded the god corpse, destroying its corpse evil energy. The god corpse wouldn't just sit there and wait for death. Once again, an astonishing killing power erupted from his pupils. Like a skull that could devour vitality, it broke through the power of the electric forks and entangled Yang Kai. Not only that, he also used his ultimate move, Corpse Mountain Transformation. All of a sudden, his divine body grew larger, as if he had turned into a mountain of corpses. Boundless corpse chi erupted from his body as boundless power surged forth. He threw out a domineering palm strike, shattering all of Yang Wu's electric fork's power. He didn't care about the pain he was suffering as he moved forward bravely, vowing to kill Yang Wu in this one move. Yang Wu sensed that his opponent was going all out, so he no longer held back. Let's see how strong you are. In the next step, 7 huge star lines floated around Yang Wu's body, and clusters of star power enveloped him. His right foot took a step forward, and his fist punched out like a dragon. Yang Wu also went all out. True martial fist Dao. The sun and moon were reversing, the stars were drifting, and true martial was descending. Rumble, rumble. When the fists and palms collided, 2 unstoppable forces exploded, and the 2 creatures spat out blood as they were sent tumbling back. Yang Wu was able to fight a god corpse to a standstill. His strength was indeed astonishing. When he was at the level 6 celestial rune realm, Yang Wu already had the ability to slaughter god-grade life forms. That was with the help of divine weapons and his innate talent. Now he could fight god-grade life forms without using those trump cards. This was his progress. The moment the god corpse separated from Yang Wu, he turned around and fled without hesitation. A human at the Starveins realm could deal with a god-grade being like him. He was definitely a monster among monsters. If he didn't flee now, when would he? Unfortunately, how could Yang Wu let him escape? How can I let such a good puppet god corpse escape? Yang Wu shouted, finally using a soul attack. The god corpse could come back to life, not only because the corpse had mutated, but also because the soul had been recondensed. Demonic Needle. The demonic needle was more effective as a soul attack. It could directly pierce into the depths of the opponent's soul and heavily injure them. The god corpse's soul was hidden in a sea of corpses. The sea of corpses was similar to a human skull, containing the spirits of the dead. The spirits of the god's corpses were stronger than ordinary living creatures. They were mutated souls with powerful regenerative abilities. When the demonic shadow needles hit the spirits of the dead, they formed layers of defenses to block the needles. This was the first time Yang Wu had failed to use the demonic needle. Corpse Curse. The god corpse's spirits of the dead rushed out and roared at the top of their lungs. The power of the spirits of the dead formed a corpse curse that rushed toward Yang Wu. Once branded by the corpse curse, they would definitely become a puppet controlled by the god corpse. Deity Beating Whip. The deity beating whip was used to attack the soul. As the whip lashed out, a sharp force directly struck the corpse curse. Bang! The corpse curse was directly shattered. The deity beating whip flew through the air and smashed down like raindrops. The god corpse's spirits of the dead tried to block it, but unfortunately, their soul power was still shattered bit by bit. The god corpse was really scared by Yang Wu. He recalled the spirits of the dead and planned to escape again. Unfortunately, there was no place for him to escape here. More than a dozen beast tamers rushed over. One after another, instruments of torture were thrown at him. These demon tamers were the most powerful in the demon taming hall. When they worked together, they were even more powerful. Even if the god corpse had the array-breaking flag, he couldn't break the divine array of the demon taming hall. Yang Wu attacked from behind, using the deity beating whip and the demonic needle. After a fierce battle, he finally took down the god corpse. Yang Wu didn't use the divine weapon because he wanted to preserve the god corpse's body. He couldn't destroy his physical body. This was a god-level puppet that had come to him on a silver platter. He couldn't waste it. The god corpse's soul had been erased. Yang Wu didn't need a living god-level puppet. He only needed a dead one. You'll be perfect to suppress the demon taming hall in the future, Yang Wu murmured and began to control the god-level corpse. He had cultivated the puppet control art and the shape-shifting art. With the combination of these two secret arts, he could condense the soul energy of the corpse race and enter the corpse sea of the corpse race to help this god corpse come back to life. Yang Wu hadn't been able to use the shape-shifting art yet. Now that he had a chance to test it out, he naturally wouldn't let it go. The shape-shifting art was extremely magical. It could allow Yang Wu's soul to change into many different forms. For example, he could change into the appearance of various spirit demons, plants, or even other people. If his soul grew stronger and stronger one day, he would be able to achieve this step. It would be a very shocking secret technique. This shape-shifting technique wasn't something that just anyone could cultivate. Only those with a soul embryo could cultivate it. Coincidentally, Yang Wu had reached the soul embryo stage. He had cultivated the Soul Control Heart Sutra and the Soul Tactics. With his powerful soul force, cultivating the shape-shifting technique was much easier for him. Shape-shifting was to change one's soul embryo into different shapes. One had to be able to control one's soul power well and compress it to different extents. It was like molding a clay figurine. Only by being able to change one's soul embryo could one truly shape-shift. As of now, Yang Wu hadn't reached this step. However, it was still very easy for him to separate a portion of his soul energy and transform it into a corpse soul. When Yang Wu's soul energy entered the corpse sea and transformed it into a corpse soul, the god corpse came back to life. This bit of soul energy wasn't like the soul energy needed to create an imperial edict. He only needed to maintain his willpower to control the god corpse. After taking control of the god corpse, Yang Wu had it reside in the depths of the demon taming hall. From now on, he would be the guardian of the demon taming hall. The demon taming hall flew away again. This time, Yang Wu activated a concealment formation to hide the demon taming hall. He didn't want to run into trouble again. While the demon taming hall flew to the world of battles, Yang Wu and the white hair witch practiced. The white hair witch's cultivation talent wasn't any worse than any prodigy in the transcendental realm. She was only delayed for a while. Fortunately, Yang Wu had given her second-grade immortal elixirs and pills to make up for it. In Yang Wu's eyes, she still had a lot of potential to be unearthed. Thus, he took advantage of this free time to train her. She was a very beautiful woman. She was even more beautiful than Shu Yujun. However, she was usually covered by her white hair. Not many people could see her peerless face. In her heart, she would only blossom in front of the man in front of her. Attack a little faster. How can this little bit of energy hurt me? Imagine me as your enemy. Be more ruthless. Don't hold back. Yin Qi, how can you stay by my side like this? You're too weak. Yin Qi, you're a sissy. The white hair, which used all of her skills to fight with Yang Wu. Her third-level star Rune Realm battle power was very strong. However, she couldn't even defeat Yang Wu, who was a first-level star Rune Realm battle power. She was looked down upon by Yang Wu. The white hair, which was also a person with self-respect. She didn't want the gap between her and Yang Wu to grow bigger. She constantly exploded with shocking energy towards Yang Wu. She even used her silver hair talent just to show that she wasn't that weak. Before her silver hair could touch Yang Wu grabbed her hair and smashed her heavily to the ground. At the same time, Yang Wu's rain-like attacks ruthlessly hit her body. Tao of lightning. The power of thunder and lightning descended wave after wave. It was like a lightning tribulation, and it was not something that anyone could withstand. The white hair witch's body was riddled with holes. Many places that shouldn't be exposed were also exposed. It was incomparably alluring. When she was on the verge of death, she was thrown into the medicinal cauldron. Temper your body properly. You're too weak. Chapter 13-14. For the very beginning, white-haired Demoness had a very good impression of Yang Wu. He was an outstanding man. Although Yang Wu was taken down by her, she was later controlled by him. After being saved by Yang Wu once, she was dead set on him. However, she never thought that Yang Wu would destroy her like a devil. He was incomparably gentle to other women. Why was he so cruel to her? The key point was that Yang Wu's attacks on her body seemed to be filled with magic. It made her feel pain and happiness. She was beaten black and blue by Yang Wu again and again. When she was immersed in the medicinal cauldron, Yang Wu would protect her. His gentle gaze made her feel very shy. Yang Wu passed on the 9 lightning body tempering technique to her. That was why he used the power of lightning to temper her and help her to improve her saint body as soon as possible. He had a plan, and that was to help all his attendants reach the great success saint body. Once they reached that step, they would become an incomparably terrifying force. Of course, he was just thinking about it. Not everyone had such monstrous talent and opportunity like him. After white-haired Demoness came out of the medicinal cauldron again and again, her physical strength increased by a large amount. Her vitality also increased along with it. Moreover, her combat strength was also rapidly increasing. With her current combat strength, she was definitely comparable to any intermediate Sage Rel creature. Yunqi, your progress is very fast. However, it is still not enough. Continue to strengthen yourself. Properly comprehend the power of the star patterns. Temper your body every day and discover the mysteries of your physical body. Your combat strength will become even stronger. Yang Wu warned white-haired Demoness. White-haired Demoness nodded deeply and said, I know. I will definitely not be a burden to you. What are you saying? You're my person. I'm doing my best to improve you. I hope that you will have the ability to protect yourself in the future. Otherwise, you will have to obediently go back with the people behind you. Master, you have guessed it. When you passed the profound formula to me, I already guessed it. The legendary 4 Islands domain strength is not inferior to the transcendent world. They have invaded the transcendent world many times and caused many massacres. The 4 Isles territory is too small. This is the reason why they invaded the transcendence. Actually, not everyone in the Four Isles is evil beyond redemption. This has nothing to do with me. It's fine as long as they don't come looking for trouble with me, or you. I hope that you can suppress them in the Martial Saint Assembly. I'll do my best." While white-haired Demonis was being trained by Yang Wu, Bai Luoyun was also not idle. He was also crazily cultivating. Bai Luoyun was still a distance away from the Saint Realm. He was not a human, so he could not participate in the Martial Saint Assembly. However, he could participate in the Thousand Saints Assembly. The Thousand Saints Assembly was the clash of the strongest saints of the different races. He could enter the territory of the different races and fight for a spot. This was also one of the goals that Yang Wu had set for him. Yang Wu gave him a lot of cultivation resources, enough for him to break through to the Saint Realm in a short period of time. However, Yang Wu hoped that he could continue to temper his body. Any creature would have more powerful combat strength only when their body was strong. The one that Bai Luoyun was training with was the sacred mandala flower. After the sacred mandala flower devoured many high-level demon bodies, it had already stabilized at the peak of the Saint Realm. It was enough for her to train Bai Luoyun. Flower vines kept whipping Bai Luoyun, forcing Bai Luoyun to use all his strength to resist. In the end, he was also beaten black and blue. When he was about to be beaten to death, he was also thrown into a medicinal cauldron to recover. After going through tempering again and again, he also made very obvious progress. It would be even more beneficial for him in the future. Bai Luoyun was a Whitewater clan member who could be ruthless to himself. However, in his opinion, it was not enough. Of course, ruthlessness alone was not enough. He also needed to have comprehension. He had to find a suitable path for himself to become stronger. When a person knew how to reflect on their own shortcomings, it was time for them to improve. Unknowingly, the Beast Taming Hall arrived in the sky above the War Race realm. At this time, Yang Wu did not hesitate to sense the inheritance tower of the Medicine God Temple and moved the Beast Taming Hall there. Then, Yang Wu threw the white-haired Demonis and Bai Luoyun into the Medicine God Temple to cultivate. There were many mountain ranges here, and there were many inheritances of cultivators. It was a suitable place for tempering. Now, Jin Yu Chen, Jin Yu Hao, Wu Simin, and the others were also training here. Yang Wu would not mistreat the people around him. He was a man of his word. As for Ren Xiaofeng and Nangong Shiqin, they had other important tasks. Ren Xiaofeng had once established a first-rate force and had very strong management skills. Yang Wu arranged for him to form an intelligence team and develop the various talents needed by the Marquis Gang. No matter the time, intelligence was the fastest way to learn about the world. With intelligence, one could better understand the world's movements. It was very beneficial for developing one's force. As for Nangong Shiqin, she originally had her own business in Ding City. It was called the Nangong Trading Company and sold pills and herbs. The Nangong Trading Company originally had a group of people and had established many businesses in many places. It could be considered a first-rate force. Yang Wu had no reason to let go of such a force. Nangong Shiqin had long wanted to find a backer. Relying on Yang Wu was undoubtedly the best choice. As for whether Nangong Shiqin could change the name of the Nangong Trading Company to the Marquis Gang, it would depend on her own ability. When she returned to Ding City, Yang Wu had helped her increase her strength by 1 level. He had also asked Ren Xiaofeng to cooperate with her and suppress some voices of opposition. Yang Wu could not be bothered with these things. What he desired most at the moment was to go to the Purple Firmament Hall and marry Yu Yu. The Purple Firmament Hall had already launched an attack on him. This proved that they really did not want him to be with Yu Yu. If this dragged on, it would be too late for him to regret if Yu was sent to the godly realm. The Purple Firmament Hall was very powerful. It was not very possible for him to go there alone. He had to find a stronger helper. Yu Huijin was indeed a very good helper. However, she always wanted to regain her freedom. It was very difficult to get her to put in 100% effort. Yang Wu looked at the Saint Do tribe, being suppressed by the Inheritance Tower. Do was definitely a powerful being. He was definitely stronger than Yu Huijin. Yang Wu suspected that even if he did not surpass the godly realm, He was definitely in existence at the peak of the godly realm. If he had his help, he would have the confidence to go to the purple firmament hall. Yang Wu went to the bottom of the inheritance tower and saw the suppressed Do Yin. He was still full of energy and had a strong, evil aura. He did not give in just because he was suppressed. "Little bastard, you still dare to come and see me." Do Yin could not help but roar when he saw Yang Wu. His voice was filled with the power to kill. If it were not for the inheritance tower suppressing him, his voice alone would be enough to kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at Do Yin calmly and said, "Old dog, you are only a prisoner now. If you speak to me like this again, do you believe that I will suppress you here forever? Who do you think you are? You are just an unnamed disciple of the Medicine God Hall. When I am free, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death," Do Yin said through gritted teeth. Yang Wu smiled faintly and said, "Don't even think about it in this lifetime." He paused for a moment and said, "Actually, I wanted to let you out this time. Since you want to kill me, then just pretend that I never came. After all, I was not the one who suppressed you here." Yang Wu turned and left. Do Yin shouted anxiously, "Are you really going to let me out?" Yang Wu did not answer and continued walking. His back was about to disappear from the inheritance tower. "What do you want me to do? As long as I'm able to do it, I will definitely satisfy you," Do Yin shouted. He had a lot of abilities, but he could not escape the suppression of the inheritance tower. He did not want to continue like this. As long as he could leave this place, what was the point of lowering his status? Yang Wu ignored him and quietly left the inheritance tower. "It won't be long before you give in," Yang Wu thought to himself. He could feel the change in Do Yan's heart, so he was not in a hurry for now. It would be best if he could find Shou Ho. He believed that they would be able to have a good chat. Thinking of this, Yang Wu called Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao over and had them go to the Devouring Sun realm to find Shou Ho. Shou Ho's location was very hidden, but he had already told Yang Wu where he was. Yang Wu had killed the Death God clan's divine demon rank powerhouse, so it was not convenient for him to go to the Devouring Sun realm for now. It was better for Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao to go there. The two brothers were eager to leave Yang Wu and have some freedom. They obeyed and left. They would find Shou Ho as soon as possible. Immediately after, Yang Wu returned to his family. In the days that he was gone, the Yang family city was bustling. A large number of cultivators poured into the Yang family city just to buy a divine pill from Yang Wu. But was Yang Wu's divine pill so easy to buy? If they couldn't get a divine pill, they could at least ask for an Emperor-grade divine pill. An Emperor-grade divine pill was a divine pill that could withstand 4 lightning tribulations. Its medicinal effects were amazing, and its effect on one's foundation was negligible. The people of the Yang family spread the news that Yang Wu was not only a divine alchemist, but also an Emperor-grade alchemist. He was one of the limited Emperor-grade alchemists in the transcendent world. Many cultivators posted missions at the Yang family's Alchemist Union branch, hoping that Yang Wu would accept their missions. At the same time, they also gave Yang Wu specific missions, but the price was higher. In addition, some forces came to form an alliance with the Yang family. Their intentions were self-evident. After Yang Wu returned to the family, he began to choose missions. He would only accept missions if the price was high enough. If the price was not high enough, he would not take action. His subordinates could do it for him. In addition, he was also willing to satisfy the requirements of some forces as long as the other party could pay the price. As for forming an alliance, it was up to Gong Salon, Yang Taihe, and the others to decide. If they felt that the alliance could be formed, he would agree. If they did not like the alliance, he would not agree. During the time that Yang Wu was the patriarch, the Yang family grew rapidly. At the critical moment, a message came quickly. King Yama's palace requested Yang Wu to go to the Death Mountain range. Otherwise, the Death Rose would die. Chapter 13:15. Amitabha, Amitabha, a man-eating female demon fell from the sky. "I'm afraid she'll eat me, Amitabha." "Sister, don't look at me like that. I'll be shy." "Kill yourself." "What do you mean? Don't you know I saved your life? Do you think you can make me succumb to your lust just because you're a little prettier and stronger? That's impossible." "Kill yourself. You're biting the hand that feeds you. Do you even have a conscience?" "Ah, "You vicious woman, you murdered your husband. You'll die a horrible death. One day, I'll become a ghost and come back to take your life. All right, come back with me. You'll be one of the deputy commanders of the Death Legion. You'll only be responsible for me. You like me, right?" Scenes from the past replayed endlessly in the youth's mind. On the once merciless battlefield, there were still traces of an unforgettable past. If Yang Wu hadn't come to the Death Mountain Range, the Rose of Death would have been beheaded. Who was Yang Wu? Who was the Rose of Death? Only the parties involved knew. Outsiders didn't know. The Yang family definitely didn't want Yang Wu to enter the Death Mountain Range. The King of Hell's palace would definitely prepare an inescapable net for Yang Wu to rescue her. A sneer flashed across Yang Wu's face as he muttered, "What a good move." With his current status, was it necessary to save the Rose of Death? Their relationship hadn't reached that stage, so why did the King of Hell's palace think they could attract him? Yang Wu called Peng Yuan to discuss this matter. "How do you think we should resolve this?" "The best solution is for the Lord not to go." "There's no other choice?" "There's no other choice. The Lord's body is priceless. How could he risk his life for a woman? Besides, that woman is also a member of the King of Hell's palace. Even if the Patriarch rescued her, it's hard to guarantee that she wasn't already controlled. Therefore, there's no need to take the risk. The Patriarch mustn't take any chances." Peng Yuan's words were very correct, and they also touched the bottom of Yang Wu's heart. For the sake of his past relationship with the Rose of Death, Yang Wu wanted to save her. After all, his first martial Dao was obtained because of saving her. Back then, she had treated him quite well. However, it was obviously not worth it to put him in danger just because of this little bit of friendship. Yang Wu was no longer a hot-blooded youth. "Then let's not bother about him. I'm preparing to make a trip to the Purple Firmament Hall. I have no choice but to make this trip." "What's your plan, military advisor?" Yang Wu asked Peng Yuan again. Yang Wu then told him about the situation with Ziyu. Peng Yuan's face kept twitching. First, it was the King of Hell's palace. Now it was the Purple Firmament Palace. He was almost scared out of his wits. Peng Yuan had long understood the situation of all the factions in the Transcendence world. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for him to become Yang Wu's strategist. He was silent for a moment, then said, "Since my lord wants to welcome Madam back, then let's do it openly and with great fanfare." "How do we do it with great fanfare?" "Bestow a divine pill and recruit all the heroes in the world to accompany my lord in welcoming the bride. If it succeeds, it will be a good story. At the same time, it will help my lord and the Yang family's reputation to reach a higher level. If it doesn't succeed, it will make the Purple Firmament Hall somewhat fearful and not dare to kill you easily. Your idea is not bad. Let's discuss it carefully." After Yang Wu and Peng Yuan seriously discussed many details, they decided to head to the Purple Firmament Hall to welcome Ziyu with great fanfare. Ziyu had an irreplaceable position in his heart. Today, it was time to bring her back to his side. Thus, Yang Wu spread the word that any heavenly-reaching old monster who was willing to accompany him to the Purple Firmament Hall to welcome his wife, Ziyu, would be bestowed a divine pill. He was even willing to refine the divine pill for them. When this news spread out from the Yang family city, it immediately caused a sensation. The Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden, Ziyu, is Yang Wu's wife? Why haven't I heard of this before? I've long heard that Yang Wu and Fairy Ziyu are having an affair. It seems like it's true. It's not that easy to get a divine realm expert to work for a divine pill. I'm afraid he won't be able to get many people to help him. The Purple Firmament Hall is so powerful. Not everyone dares to provoke such a colossus. Don't forget that Yang Wu has the Heavenly Palace behind him. There are also Overlord-class experts in the Heavenly Palace. Xiang Dingtian also seems to have some connections with the Heavenly Palace. The Purple Firmament Hall won't dare to do anything rash. Before Yang Wu set off, he still had many things to do. First, he had to refine a batch of divine pills to deal with the Yang family's allies and the Apothecary Alliance's missions. He entered the Apothecary Hall to refine divine pills and complete these missions as quickly as possible. As for whether there would be heavenly-reaching old monster willing to escort him to the Purple Firmament Hall, it was hard to say. Fortunately, The apothecary alliance's influence this time wasn't limited to the human race. It included the spirit demons and other races. Perhaps these races wouldn't be afraid of the purple firmament hall. For this reason, Yang Wu had to prepare some divine pills for the spirit demons and other races. Regardless of whether he needed them or not, he had to refine them first. It was better to be prepared. After Yang Wu received the apothecary hall's inheritance, he became more proficient in refining divine pills. His failure rate was very low. Most of the divine pills he refined were second tribulation divine pills and above. Every time he was struck by divine lightning, he would feel like dying. Every time he was severely injured, he would rush into the cauldron to refine his divine body. The medicinal liquid he refined in the cauldron contained all kinds of stimulants. It would make the refinement method twice as effective as half the effort, as long as he could withstand the torment. This pain might be unbearable for others, but for Yang Wu, it was nothing. Only by enduring the most hardships could one rise above others. He didn't achieve what he had today by luck. After an unknown period of time, Yang Wu refined a large batch of pills. In addition to divine pills, there were also divine pills. It was enough to support the Yang family for a while. Yang Wu summoned Dilong. Qiu Long, I'll give you this divine pill. It will help you break through. Dilong was overjoyed. A divine pill could definitely help him break through and save 1,000 years of cultivation. Thank you, my lord, Dilong said gratefully after receiving the divine pill. You're welcome. Open up some high-quality medicinal fields for me. I can use them all, Yang Wu replied. Don't worry, my lord. I'll make a lot of land for you, Dilong replied. Dilong was best at loosening the soil. He also had a talent that could help the soil level up. Wherever he was, it would be a good place to plant herbs. Yang Wu planned to bring his mother to the Medicine God Palace as well. The Yang family's land wasn't small, but it wasn't as safe as the Medicine God Palace. After sending Dilong away, Yang Wu called Yu Huaijin over. Most of the time, Yu Huaijin stayed in the Yang family and secretly protected them. Yu Huaijin was very powerful. During this period of time, those who wanted to fish in troubled waters to enter the Yang family were all sent away by her. Who knew if those transcending heaven-tier powerhouses were here to inquire about some information, or if they were secretly attacking the Yang family? Heaven-reaching experts without a proper invitation were not allowed to enter the Yang family's territory. This was the Yang family's current security. After a period of time, the heaven-reaching experts who came to the Yang family basically went through the proper channels. They didn't dare to sneak in. I want you to save someone, Yang Wu said to Yu Huaijin directly. My lord, please tell me, Yu Huaijin replied. When she replied, her body leaned forward slightly, revealing a small part of her snow-white skin. It really made one's blood boil. She was a woman from the Fox Moon clan. She was naturally charming and had a graceful voice. Wearing a white dress on her exquisite figure, she was like a fairy descending to the mortal world. Nothing could be more beautiful. Such a woman, no overlord in the transcendent world, would be able to resist the urge to take her in. Yang Wu didn't stand on ceremony with Yu Huaijin. He condensed the appearance of the Rose of Death and asked Yu Huaijin to go save her. After telling Peng Yuan that he wouldn't save the Rose of Death, he still couldn't let it go. Maybe it was because he was a playboy. He still missed the time when he was in the army at the Great Xiao border, saving someone from the king of Hell's palace. My lord, the mission you gave me is really dangerous. Yu Huaijin revealed a trace of emotion. There's a king of Hell's palace in the God realm? Yang Wu asked. More than that, it's an incomparably terrifying existence. Yu Huaijin sighed. Then do you accept this mission or not? Yes, I also want to see what secrets are hidden in the human realm. Okay, be careful. Yang Wu wanted to go to the Purple Firmament Palace, but he sent Yu Huaijin away. This wasn't a good thing for him. But since he had already done so, he was naturally fully prepared. He felt that it was time to make a trip back to the Heavenly Palace. He was also someone with backing. Ziyu's marriage was to be witnessed by his master, so it was impossible for his master to not care about this matter. Moreover, he also had a senior brother, Xiang Dingtian. His master couldn't ignore this matter, right? Thus, without alerting anyone, he rode the tribulation cloud alone to the heavenly palace. With the tribulation cloud, Yang Wu's flying speed was too fast. Moreover, it didn't consume any energy. He only needed to use some spiritual power to guide the tribulation cloud forward. He could also concentrate on cultivating on the tribulation cloud. Soul tactics needed to be cultivated constantly. World Destroyer Frenzy Blade could also be put on the cultivation schedule. There are also many martial arts that Yang Wu had that needed to be cultivated diligently. Cultivation was like rowing a boat against the current. If you slacked off, you might fall behind. Yang Wu had to seize every moment to cultivate and reach the Jade Moon realm as soon as possible. After the trip to the Purple Firmament Palace, he had to find the whereabouts of the next type of Profound Essence Chi. Without the Profound Essence Chi, he couldn't raise the level of the Regal 9 Profound Arts. He still couldn't break through to a higher realm. Now that the Regal 9 Profound Arts had merged with a large amount of Profound Arts, his absorption speed was much faster than before. This only increased his cultivation speed, but it couldn't help him break through the bottleneck. Yang Wu's thoughts were a bit far away. Wuho Gang is already building. Unfortunately, the base hasn't been chosen yet. The location of the Heavenly Palace is pretty good, but Master definitely won't agree. I have to quickly find a place to take root. Chapter 13:16. The Heavenly Palace was located in the Heaven Domain mountain range. The outer hall had already been destroyed and was sealed in ice. The inner hall could not be entered without the Heavenly Palace token. Yang Wu returned to the Heaven Domain mountain range. Looking at the ice and snow, he felt very comfortable. He could not help but shout, "Heavenly Palace, I'm back." Yang Wu landed. He hid his aura so that no one could discover his existence. Even if he stood in the ice and snow, the living beings nearby could not see him. He felt as if he had merged with the heaven and earth. Yang Wu did not stay for long. He activated the token and entered the inner hall of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace was still in ruins and looked very bleak. It did not recover its former glory just because it had some people. After Yang Wu entered, someone immediately came to greet him. It was Jiang Ping. This guy was not bad looking. He had sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. He was tall and straight. His slovenly appearance was full of evil. He had a weed in his mouth. He said with a hint of mockery, "You're willing to come back? I thought you forgot your identity as a disciple of the Heavenly Palace." "I didn't know you were a disciple of the Heavenly Palace," Yang Wu replied. Every time he saw Jiang Ping, this guy's strength increased greatly. He wondered if this guy was the same person or if another strong cultivator had transformed into him. Among his peers, Yang Wu's speed of improvement was unparalleled. Even Jin Xiu was far behind him. Jiang Ping seemed to be able to keep up. This was incredible. I'm a head disciple of the Heavenly Palace. I will be the Palace Lord in the future. You mortals should submit to me, Jiang Ping said arrogantly. Yang Wu smiled coldly and said, "Who gave you such confidence? Do you believe that I will beat you to the ground right now? If you want to fight with me, I will accompany you anytime. But we have something to do now," Jiang Ping said seriously. "What is it? Wait until we fight." Yang Wu's eyes flashed fiercely. He shouted and attacked Jiang Ping. Yang Wu did not hold back when he attacked. He used the martial god's fist, and his domineering aura was unstoppable. Jiang Ping's reaction was very fast. He quickly dodged and shouted, "How can you be so unromantic? We are fellow disciples. Is it really okay to fight and kill as soon as we meet? If you don't want me to fight and kill, then hurry up and kneel down and call me senior brother. Perhaps I'll make things easier for you. You're going too far. Do you really think that this young master is afraid of you? Come on then." Yang Wu and Jiang Ping started fighting. Yang Wu, on the other hand, didn't use his full strength. He only used the combat power of a Grade 1 Celestial Rune Realm. He wanted to test out Jiang Ping's strength. His first Grade Star Rune Realm was comparable to an ordinary Middle Grade Star Rune Realm. Sure enough, Jiang Ping was able to block it easily. This guy's speed was not ordinary. Therefore, Yang Wu raised his strength to the 3rd Grade Star Rune Realm in one breath. He no longer held back and used the ability he used to fight against Jin Xiu, wanting to suppress Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping knew that Yang Wu was very strong. He kept retreating, not wanting to fight Yang Wu head-on. However, Yang Wu kept pressuring him, which made him angry. "Show me your true ability. Otherwise, you will fail miserably." Jiang Ping shouted and started to counterattack, killing Wind Blade. Jiang Ping cultivated Wind Xian Qi, and as his strength increased, his battle prowess also became more powerful. Boundless wind blades formed a storm and rushed towards Yang Wu. The power of the storm was not inferior to a grade 6-star Rune Realm's combat power. Such combat power was already at the peak of the younger generation. Many experts of the older generation could not be compared to him. Jiang Ping was worthy of being in the top 10 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking. However, this kind of pressure was nothing to Yang Wu. Yang Wu kicked out with a Wind God's leg. A large amount of wind blades twisted and formed a tornado that collided with Jiang Ping's power. Boom! Boom! The two forces exploded and scattered, and many profound energy waves surged and splashed out. Yang Wu ignored these forces and continued to kick at Jiang Ping. With his third grade star Rune Realm strength, it was not difficult for him to fight against a high-level saint. Jiang Ping's combat power was not enough. Just as Yang Wu's attack was about to hit Jiang Ping, he retreated like a gust of wind. Wind path. Jiang Ping's perception was also shocking. He seemed to have turned into a gust of wind, moving faintly. Not only did he dodge Yang Wu's attack, but he also created countless Jiang Pings that attacked Yang Wu. At the same time, streams of astral energy pierced through the air. Jiang Ping's true strength was displayed. His cultivation had reached the 5th rank of the Astral Rune Realm. With his ability to fight above his level, he wasn't any weaker than an expert of the 8th rank. This was Jiang Ping's true strength. When Yang Wu saw Jiang Ping's combat power, his eyes twitched. He did not expect Jiang Ping to reach this step after coming out of the Saint Transformation Pool. Jiang Ping's opportunities were not inferior to his. "This is not enough," Yang Wu shouted, and the electric forks suddenly appeared, shrouding all of Jiang Ping's shadows within them, and brutally slaughtering him. Yang Wu had already reached the 4th grade star Rune Realm. His combat power was not inferior to Jiang Ping's. Yang Wu thought he could take down Jiang Ping. Who knew that Jiang Ping would give him another surprise? 3 clear sacred art. Jiang Ping used his ultimate skill for the first time. This was the inheritance he had obtained. 1 chi into 3 clear ones. Earth Fiend, Wind Blade, Astral Fire, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They formed 3 different attacks. 3 Jiang Pings surrounded Yang Wu from different directions. The 3 different forces collided with Yang Wu's electric fork magnetic field. Many electric forks were shattered. The Earth Dragon, surging from the ground, was also shattered. Countless wind blades and astral fire were destroyed. At this point, it was time to see whose combat power was stronger. A hidden Earth Dragon rushed out from under Yang Wu's feet and swallowed Yang Wu. Jiang Ping endured the attack of the electric fork. He formed a seal with his hands and shouted, "Die!" The Earth Dragon had enough power to kill any high-level saint. Yang Wu felt a bit of pressure, but everything was within the scope of what he could bear. He swung his arm and directly smashed the Earth Dragon to pieces with brute force. "What other trump cards do you have? Just use them," Yang Wu said confidently. Today, he was going to beat Jiang Ping into submission. Just as he finished speaking, the 3 Jiang Pings disappeared. When they reappeared, they were in 3 different directions around Yang Wu. They were very close to Yang Wu. 3 talents formation. Just now, Jiang Ping had only used 3 different forces to attack. Now, the 3 of them worked together to form a formation. Once again, they unleashed an even more shocking combat power. It was enough to threaten even a top-level saint. The power of heaven, earth, and man formed an Earth Dragon, a Wind Dragon, and a Fire Dragon. They attacked Yang Wu crazily. "I don't believe you can withstand my ultimate attack," Jiang Ping secretly shouted in his heart and released all of his power. The power of the stars continued to surge down, and the profound chi in the surroundings continued to support him, causing the entire place to be filled with dust and dirt. With Jiang Ping's current battle prowess, he was no weaker than Yang Wu and Jin Xiu when they first emerged from the Saint Transformation Pool. He might even be stronger. Jiang Ping's original body was corporeal, not incorporeal. This was the difference between the three purities Saint techniques. 3 against 1. He was almost invincible in the same realm. This was the reason why Jiang Ping's strength was far superior to others. Others were cultivating alone, but he was cultivating with 3 people. It had a multi-layered effect. This was the first time Yang Wu clashed with Jiang Ping so fiercely. After sensing his opponent's combat power, he also increased his combat power to the same level as his opponent. He threw out a series of overbearing barbaric fists. Barbarian horse fist. Barbarian leopard fist. These 2 moves were fast against fast. Unfortunately, they could not stop the power of the 3 talents formation. Yang Wu had no choice but to use the doppelganger technique. He split into 9, and the 9 figures worked together to destroy Jiang Ping's 3 talents formation. Bang bang. One punch after another, the invincible power sent the 3 Jiang Pings flying away, coughing up blood. Yang Wu was invincible in the same realm. After Jiang Ping was heavily injured, he ran away in a sorry state. His speed was unparalleled. He was confident that he could escape from anyone. Moreover, he had the talent of teleportation. It was the best way to escape. This time, how could Yang Wu let him escape? Without waiting for Jiang Ping to use his full strength, the area was completely sealed. Yang Wu's power was comparable to the connecting heaven realm. His majestic aura was shocking. Before Jiang Ping could escape, he was punched in the heart. His body fell down. Pooh! Jiang Ping vomited blood again. The other 2 doppelgangers quickly merged with him. He did not dare to run anymore. He looked at Yang Wu and said with difficulty, "We are from the same sect. Killing each other is taboo." Yang Wu looked in front of Jiang Ping and said with a smile, "Since we are from the same sect, do you know how to address me?" Jiang Ping's face stiffened. Soon he smiled and said, "Jiang Ping greets senior brother Yang Wu. In the future, you will be the chief disciple of the Heavenly Palace. Jiang Ping will follow your lead. In the future, you can stay by my side. I don't want you to harm innocent women," Yang Wu replied. "Senior brother, I am not that kind of person. They are all willing," Jiang Ping explained. Without waiting for him to finish, Yang Wu interrupted him and said, "No need to explain to me. In short, if I hear that you harm innocent women again and ruin the reputation of the Heavenly Palace, I will castrate you. I mean what I say." Yang Wu released a powerful aura. When Jiang Ping saw it, he shivered. Yang Wu's words were not empty words. He would definitely do what he said. Jiang Ping lamented in his heart, "The future will not be easy." "Senior brother, do you know why I am here?" Jiang Ping changed the topic. "Why?" Yang Wu asked. "Martial Uncle Howren told me to wait for you here. He said that you can bring me to the Heavenly Dragon Palace and take back the inheritance that belongs to the Heavenly Palace." Chapter 13:17. Like the Fiend Taming Hall, the Heavenly Dragon Palace was a residence of the Heavenly Palace. There used to be a total of 99 palaces and halls in the Heavenly Palace. After the Great Change, the palaces and halls were either destroyed or disappeared. Many inheritances were also lost. The Heavenly Dragon Palace was one of the strongest palaces in the Heavenly Palace. It belonged to the Heavenly Dragon Palace's Palace Master. The Heavenly Dragon Palace's Palace Master was one of the strongest representatives of the Heavenly Palace. He was an Overlord-class expert. Even such an expert had fallen, and no one knew where his palace had gone missing. Now that the Heavenly Dragon Palace had reappeared, some people had already received some news that they would snatch the Heavenly Dragon Palace's fortuitous encounter. Jiang Ping had heard this news from Howren long ago. Unfortunately, he could not easily obtain the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance by himself. Hence, he had no choice but to work with Yang Wu. In the past, Jiang Ping had obtained the 3 pure palaces' inheritance by luck. That was why he had such combat prowess. If he obtained the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance as well, he was confident that he would be able to advance further. In the future, When he reached the Heaven Ascension stage, he would become an overlord. Yang Wu said sullenly, "The Heavenly Dragon Palace's location is incredibly dangerous. I feel that it is not appropriate to go and snatch the inheritance there now." Hao Ren had already told Yang Wu the location of the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Yang Wu did not head over immediately because the Heavenly Dragon Palace was located in the Forbidden Land, Dragon Gate Grotto. Dragon Gate Grotto was a famous land of danger in the Transcendence world. There was a slim chance of survival if one entered. Some people said that it used to be the territory of the Dragon Clan. After entering the Dragon Gate, one would become a true dragon. Others said that it was the entrance to the God Realm. After entering, one would be teleported to the God Realm or the Void Space, unable to return. No matter which legend it was not something that ordinary people could afford to offend. This was also the reason why Yang Wu did not immediately head to the Dragon's Gate Stone Cave to seize the Heavenly Dragon Palace. That is the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Rumor has it that the Heavenly Dragon Scripture and many of the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritances are left there. Are we just going to let it go? He paused for a moment before continuing. If you don't dare to go, I'll go alone. Dragon Gate Grotto is a dead end. I won't stop you, Yang Wu said with a shrug. Then give me the Heavenly Dragon token, Jiang Ping said with a hint of anticipation. The Heavenly Dragon Order had already fallen into Yang Wu's hands, which was the reason why Jiang Ping was willing to wait here. With the Heavenly Dragon Medallion, Xiao Chun would definitely be able to enter the Heavenly Dragon Palace smoothly. Safety would not be a problem. However, there was not only one Heavenly Dragon Medallion, but a total of 3. Only by gathering all 3 Heavenly Dragon Medallions could one open the Heavenly Dragon Palace. The other factions had already obtained the other 2 Heavenly Dragon Medallions. With Yang Wu's medallion, they would be able to open the Heavenly Dragon Palace. Yang Wu shook his head and said, "There is no room for discussion. Just follow me properly. When I am ready, I will definitely make a trip to the Heavenly Dragon Palace." I thought you weren't going. The Heavenly Dragon Palace will definitely return to the Heavenly Palace. In that case, I'll wait. Yang Wu chatted with Jiang Ping for a while. After confirming that Jiang Ping was willing to stay by his side, he allowed Jiang Ping to treat his injuries. If Jiang Ping wanted to leave, Yang Wu would not stop him. After all, they were still fellow disciples. This relationship was not fake. At the same time, if Jiang Ping wanted to go to the Heavenly Dragon Palace, he would not leave until he achieved his goal. At the same time, Xiao Chun learned from Jiang Ping that Hao Run and Nan Nan had not returned to the Heavenly Palace. He could not help feeling disappointed. He still wanted to use his master's strength to intimidate the Purple Firmament Palace's people. Since Hao Run was not here, Yang Wu planned to leave. Jiang Ping quickly said, "Senior brother, come with me." Yang Wu felt curious, so he followed Jiang Ping. He believed that Jiang Ping would not dare to play any tricks. Soon, Yang Wu and Jiang Ping arrived before a damaged residence. Jiang Ping removed some of the concealment, revealing a rather shocking item. Yang Wu exclaimed, Could this be the demonic god cannon?" Before Xiao Chun was an extremely magical cannon. Many sinister horns protruded from the cannon's body. The cannon's mouth was like a black hole that could swallow all auras. It could also erupt with boundless power. The cannon's frame was made of divine gray materials and looked extremely mighty. Jiang Ping nodded repeatedly and said, "That's right. This is the demonic god cannon. It was once the Heavenly Palace's most frightening treasure." The last time Yang Wu came to the Heavenly Palace, he did not really search for any inheritances left behind. After he and Yu obtained some benefits, they left. Who would have thought that the Heavenly Palace would leave behind such a terrifying fellow? The demonic god cannon was not only made of materials, but also all sorts of formations. As long as it was filled with enough demonic core energy, it could unleash an attack that could destroy gods. In the past, 8 demonic god cannons were made. Now, only 1 demonic god cannon remained. Furthermore, from the looks of it, something seemed to have happened to it. Otherwise, Jiang Ping would not have left it here. Yang Wu touched the demonic god cannon and sighed. "This is a weapon of war." "Yes. Unfortunately, the formation has been destroyed." If we want to restore it, we need to find a divine array master. I don't have the ability to find a divine array master, so I'll have to wait for you, Jiang Ping said. He sighed in his heart. Yang Wu got lucky. I hope he can really restore it and use it in the future. For such a destructive item, it's best not to restore it, Yang Wu said in a low voice. The demonic god cannon's power was terrifying. The more power it had, the more powerful it would be. Not only could it kill a heaven-reaching powerhouse, but it could also wipe out all life in an area. Senior, as long as we use it well, we can use it to deal with things that are difficult for the heavens or to protect ourselves. It's not like we're using it to destroy heaven and earth, Jiang Ping said. Just as he finished speaking, Yang Wu said seriously, "You're right. Let's bring it back to the Yang clan. Let's see if the Xing clan dares to invade us in the future." Senior, this is an item from the Heavenly Palace, Jiang Ping reminded him. An item from the Heavenly Palace is mine. I can use it however I want. Do I need you to teach me? Yang Wu glared at Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was speechless. He began to regret telling Yang Wu about the existence of the demonic god cannon. Yang Wu was prepared to put away the demonic god cannon, but he realized that it was not that easy. The demonic god cannon was imprisoned in this place, and without enough power, he could not move it away. This was also the reason why Jiang Ping had left it here. Big, 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 Yang Wu shouted, and his body continued to grow. After reaching a height of 100 zhang, he picked up the demon god cannon in one fell swoop. Jiang Ping stared at the scene and exclaimed, Is this guy from a giant race? When Yang Wu picked up the demonic god cannon, he was finally able to move it into the Qiankuan space. All right, leave this destructive item to me for safekeeping. I can't let it harm the world, Yang Wu said righteously. Jiang Ping wanted to vomit blood. He clearly said that he was going to take it back and leave it in the Yang family. Now he was saying it in such a dignified manner. What a hypocrite. Then, Yang Wu walked towards the other dilapidated halls. He planned to walk around and see what kind of inheritance the Heavenly Palace had left behind. Soon, he passed by a palace. There was a hanging array that emitted waves of light. Anyone who stepped in would be killed by the array. Jiang Ping explained, "This is the 5 elements extermination array. Anyone who enters will be killed. Only those who study the Tao of arrays can obtain the inheritance here." Yang Wu didn't force his way in. After a while, he saw a bronze wall imprinted with a large hand. Each hand imprint contained an indescribable power. When Yang Wu looked at it, a terrifying palm energy slammed towards him. Yang Wu was the first to react, and he also threw a punch at him. Bang! Yang Wu's punch had destroyed the power of the hand seal, but his body was also shaken and was forced to retreat 10 feet. Jiang Ping was shocked again. This guy is really abnormal. The first time I faced the stone imprint, I was beaten to the point of spitting blood. Yang Wu stared at the palm imprint. It was as if he could see a heavenly powerhouse continuously attacking. The power of the palm imprint was incomparably terrifying, enough to split heaven and earth. After arriving here, Yang Wu understood that some of the Heavenly Palace's inheritances were still here. However, they weren't passed down in words, but instead imprinted with the power of will. Only those who could bear the power of will could obtain the inheritance. After arriving here, Yang Wu didn't plan to continue walking. He now had a lot of inheritances. The will and bloodline inheritance of the Yang family's ancestors were enough for him to digest. In addition, his master had given him the Sage and Jade Moon inheritances. Once he finished digesting them, it would be enough to support him to become stronger. If he wanted to comprehend these battle skills one by one, it would take a lot of time. When he had the time, he would come back and take a look at the inheritances here. Yang Wu decisively left. Jiang Ping didn't stay either. He had the 3 pristine palaces inheritance, and he only cultivated the other inheritances selectively. He also understood the principle of biting off more than he could chew. When Yang Wu and Jiang Ping came out, Yang Wu didn't summon the tribulation clouds. Instead, he took out the 4 flood dragon war chariot. The 4 flood dragons were stone-shaped flood dragons. As long as a saint stone was inserted into them, they could fly. It was an ancient war chariot that was also part of the Heavenly Palace's inheritance. When Jiang Ping saw the war chariot, his eyes lit up. This war chariot is amazing. It's a godly tool for picking up girls. He didn't hesitate to jump into the war chariot, wanting to sit next to Yang Wu, who knew that Yang Wu would kick him aside. Drive the war chariot. Don't show any respect to your seniors. How am I supposed to drive it? Jiang Ping didn't understand. These stone flood dragons only look good when people drive them. Otherwise, how can there be any extravagance? Yang Wu said confidently. Jiang Ping was so angry that he clenched his teeth. Since he started cultivating, he had never suffered such humiliation. If not for the fact that he couldn't defeat Yang Wu, he would have stomped on Yang Wu's face. To think that he, a distinguished young master, had to put on airs. Did Jiang Ping really think that he was a servant? For the Heavenly Dragon Palace, I'll endure it. I'll endure it. Jiang Ping took a deep breath and jumped onto one of the stone flood dragons. Then he said to Yang Wu, "Senior brother, why are you still not inserting the Saint Stone? What are you waiting for? Is there something wrong with your head? You are the driver. Of course, you are the one to insert the Saint Stone. I quit." Chapter 13:18. The four-flood dragon war chariot was a top-notch saint-grade war chariot. As long as there were enough top-notch saint stones, it could explode with a speed comparable to a top-notch saint. Although it couldn't be compared to the thunder tribulation clouds, it was still faster than many battleships, war chariots, and flying shuttles. The level of a war chariot represented the level of a person's status. This four-flood dragon war chariot represented a noble status. Ordinary saints wouldn't dare to have any ideas about it. Although these four-stone flood dragons were puppets, they could unleash extremely powerful combat strength. Ordinary saints wouldn't be able to deal with them. Jiang Ping was unwilling to give up. He quickly drove the war chariot and flew away. It was already embarrassing enough for him to be a war chariot driver. He actually had to pay saint stones for Yang Wu. He felt extremely sullen. However, he couldn't resist Yang Wu. Yang Wu was too violent. He would beat people up without saying anything. He was really bullying him because he was weak. Jiang Ping swore that after he obtained the Heavenly Dragon Palace's inheritance, he would definitely take revenge. Yang Wu looked at Jiang Ping driving the war chariot with satisfaction. He lay behind the war chariot and meditated. Only by constantly cultivating could he become stronger. Recently, his soul embryo had been getting stronger day by day. Once it reached the great success stage, he would enter the heavenly soul stage. Once he entered the heavenly soul stage, he would be able to cover heaven and earth with his soul and possess boundless power. He would also be able to reach the Soul Control Heart Sutra's 10,000-mile soul control state. In addition, Yang Wu had also gradually comprehended some tricks to the shape-shifting technique. He believed that it wouldn't be long before he could have various transformations. He already had a deep understanding of soul techniques. He couldn't wait to integrate the will of the Yang clan's ancestor and the inheritance that his master had passed him. They were all insights on cultivation. Yang Wu had luckily cultivated the great success Saint Physique. However, it didn't mean that he could really unleash his combat strength to the extreme. After Yang Wu integrated their willpower and insights, he understood that after the level 7 celestial rune realm transformed into the Starlight Great Tao, he could borrow the Great Tao to continuously absorb the power of the stars. The more power of the stars descended, the greater the effect it would have on tempering his physique. Starlight sprinkled down from the sky, unceasingly falling on Yang Wu's body. He unceasingly poured the power of these stars into his meridians and acupoints. Each meridian was like a surging river, and each acupoint was surging with power. Meridians and acupoints were the two basic elements of cultivation. While they were growing stronger, the skin and flesh would also be nourished, becoming bigger and bigger. Only then would one's potential be greater. This power couldn't be compared to using the medicinal liquid to stimulate and temper, but the advantage was that it wouldn't harm the body. It could also temper some of the corners of the body. In an instant, the 7-star runes on Yang Wu's body transformed into 7-star dragons that coiled around his body, making him look incomparably noble and dazzling. Jiang Ping looked back and cursed in his heart, "Son of a B***tch. His cultivation speed is so abnormal." Jiang Ping didn't delay any longer. He created 2 doppelgangers that landed on the other 2 stone dragons. He also worked hard to cultivate, not daring to be negligent. If the people who were with Yang Wu didn't cultivate, they would be left far behind by him. Talents are the process of unlocking the treasures of the human body. Now that I have the heart, soul, limbs, and other talents, if I want to unlock a new talent, I have to further stimulate my internal organs and find a unique point. Only then will there be a 1 in a million chance of awakening a talent. Yang Wu thought in his heart about continuing to explore the abilities of his talents. If anyone wanted to awaken a talent, they would have to rely on opportunities and luck. It was extremely difficult to awaken a talent on one's own. After Yang Wu cultivated the great success holy body, he always felt that his body's talents still had room to be explored. He could awaken a talent at any time. For example, his eyes and ears had abilities that weren't inferior to the first stage of an ordinary martial artist talent. His vision would be very good, and his hearing would be very good. This was an ability that was better than a talent. It was also an ability that came with the strengthening of his physical body. Yang Wu decided to find new talent. He attracted the power of the stars to his body. When the power entered his body, he looked at every corner of his body to find a unique point. He searched and finally found a unique meridian. This meridian couldn't store the power of the stars. It was relatively small, and compared to other meridians, it was still too lacking. Therefore, Yang Wu slowly guided his power into this nameless meridian and began to stimulate it. This meridian also had its own personality. No matter how Yang Wu stimulated it, it was indifferent. It was as if it didn't belong to Yang Wu's meridian. "I don't believe that you will be so disobedient." Yang Wu steeled his heart and guided more power into the meridian. Unfortunately, the meridian was almost broken, and he couldn't integrate the power of the stars. Yang Wu was forced to stop. He was afraid that if the meridian was destroyed, he would suffer a great loss. "Since it can't accept the power of the stars, I will try the immortal qi." Yang Wu cast his gaze on the strand of immortal qi in his dantian and began to guide the strand of immortal qi over. This immortal qi was in his dantian and the immortal peach tree. It was different and mysterious. Yang Wu always thought that it was born from the immortal peach tree. However, when the immortal peach tree grew, it didn't absorb it. He started to suspect that the origin of this immortal qi was extraordinary. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he thought, he couldn't understand what was going on. In any case, this immortal qi was the key to his immortal body. It could only be beneficial to him. He didn't care about it. When he saw Little Hay again, he would have a good chat with it. After a wisp of immortal qi entered the meridian finally reacted. It seemed to become transparent. It was crystal clear like glass. It was very different from other meridians. Yang Wu felt something in his mind. It seemed that this meridian contained some kind of talent that was about to appear. Yang Wu couldn't wait to insert more immortal qi. There were no other changes to the meridian. It was transparent like a mirror. It could reflect everything. Illuminate the talent? Or is it transparent glass? Yang Wu opened his eyes and muttered to himself. Soon, he looked at his surroundings while activating the power of that meridian. Finally, he discovered the innate talent that this meridian contained. This innate talent was like a mirror that could reflect everything. Then, it would be branded in his mind, helping him to quickly comprehend. Yang Wu's face was filled with joy. Without any warning, he kicked Jiang Ping, who was riding on the stone dragon. He deliberately kicked Jiang Ping. It wasn't particularly fast or fierce. Jiang Ping sensed it and dodged. He shouted, "You're still coming? I suddenly have some enlightenment. Let's exchange a few blows," Yang Wu said to Jiang Ping. He seemed to be asking for Yang Wu's opinion. However, he had already attacked Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping had no choice. He could only exchange blows with Yang Wu. Jiang Ping also became ruthless. He directly used his full strength to avoid being beaten up badly by Yang Wu. Peach Blossom Eyes. Charming peach blossom finger. This was Jiang Ping's talent. His eyes were filled with an indescribable light. It could make people fall into a gentle and soft state and unable to extricate themselves. At the same time, a finger light quietly shot out. The finger light dazzled the eyes and shot towards Yang Wu's heart. Jiang Ping was also ruthless. He looked like he wanted to shoot Yang Wu to death. When Jiang Ping attacked, Yang Wu didn't attack. Instead, he stared at Jiang Ping's moves, urging the innate talent of that meridian. He wanted to figure out whether it was the innate talent he had imagined. Yang Wu dodged continuously. Jiang Ping, on the other hand, attacked continuously. He didn't believe that he couldn't even touch Yang Wu's clothes. Storm Palm. Phoenix Dance. The palm power was like storm. There were flames that turned into phoenixes. Colorful power continuously fell on Yang Wu. Jiang Ping still couldn't touch a single hair on Yang Wu. He couldn't help but curse. "I'm not playing anymore." Just as he stopped playing, Yang Wu suddenly attacked. Charming peach blossom finger. A finger power full of confusion shot towards Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was shocked. This was his attack technique, and it actually appeared on Yang Wu's body. He didn't hesitate to return the finger and blocked Yang Wu's finger. In the next moment, Yang Wu attacked again. A storm of palm power violently hit Jiang Ping. This was Storm Palm. F***, you stole my move. Jiang Ping cursed. Slap. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Wu's palm slapped his face and sent him flying. "If you dare to curse again, I'll break your front teeth," Yang Wu said faintly. His move changed again. Phoenix Dance. He seemed to have turned into a phoenix. Carrying torrential flames, he attacked Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was completely scared out of his wits. This was the move he had just used. How did Yang Wu learn it? By the time he came back to his senses, the flames had already engulfed him. The clothes on his body had been burned away, revealing his naked body. He covered his lower body in grievance and wailed, "I have a pure body. Senior brother, you must take responsibility for me." Yang Wu didn't continue. Instead, he returned to the chariot and said faintly, "Let's continue." He didn't pay attention to Jiang Ping. Instead, he carefully experienced this new innate ability. Celestial Moon Mirror Art. The innate ability of the meridians was like a celestial mirror. It could reflect any offensive martial skill. It was like imprinting the moon in the sky into the water, helping him to grasp the opponent's offensive martial skill. This was a high-level imitation technique. Perhaps he couldn't unleash the true essence of the opponent's battle skill. However, he could still display 70 to 80% of its power. This was quite impressive. It was easy to catch the opponent off guard. He could also grasp the opponent's weakness. This Celestial Moon Mirror Art was too impressive. Yang Wu was extremely excited. He didn't think that he would unintentionally unlock an unexpected innate ability. It was too useful for him. The Regal 9 Profound Arts can improve the mystical arts. The Celestial Moon Mirror Art can imprint other people's battle skills. With these secret techniques, I can't dominate the Thousand Saints Assembly. I can't establish the powerful Marquis Gang. I can't just kill myself. Chapter 1319. The Ghost Clan was one of the major clans in the Transcendent world. They occupied the Ghost Domain and dominated the region. The Ghost Clan mainly cultivated soul power. Their soul attacks were unparalleled in the world and were very difficult to deal with. They could easily create illusions and easily destroy the souls of living creatures. They could even cause living creatures to go berserk. This was an evil clan that many living creatures did not want to get close to. Humans and devils had always been at loggerheads. They often had friction with the Ghost Clan, but the two clans restrained each other more than the Devil Clan. The Ghost Clan guarded a region and constantly strengthened themselves. Their goal was not to invade the Transcendent world, but to return to the Ghost Domain. The Ghost Domain was the domain that the Ghost Clan liked to live in. The ghosts that remained in the Transcendental world were either survivors or living beings that had been abandoned. This Ghost Domain was full of Yin-Chi. It was dark and boundless, and the whistling sounds were extremely frightening. A 4 Flood Dragon war chariot quietly arrived at the edge of the Ghost Domain. There were 4 young people on the war chariot. 3 of them looked exactly the same, like triplets. The young man sitting at the back of the war chariot was very noble, like a dragon and phoenix among men. Were they not Yang Wu and Jiang Ping? I say, senior brother, why did you suddenly come to this gloomy place? Jiang Ping, who was riding the stone flood dragon, asked Yang Wu behind him. Yang Wu wiped away a trace of nostalgia and said, looking for an old friend. This is the Ghost Clan's territory. Senior brother still has such an old friend. Jiang Ping curled his lips. Humans naturally did not have a good impression of the Ghost Clan, and vice versa. Don't talk nonsense. Let's go in and take a look. Yang Wu was too lazy to explain to Jiang Ping. If we rashly barge in like this, a bunch of big and small ghosts will rush out to eat us. Jiang Ping responded, You're right. Of course we have to eat the food that's delivered. Suddenly, a gloomy voice sounded. This voice was like a cold wind blowing, chilling to the bone. Little ghost, don't pretend. Hurry up and call your old ghost out. We brothers want to barge into your ghost domain. Jiang Ping looked in a direction and responded forcefully. Who do you think you are? How dare you call us lords? See if I don't eat you up first. That voice responded once again. The next moment, a chilly wind blew in Jiang Ping's direction. A little brat who doesn't know life from death dares to block my path? Go die. Jiang Ping shouted in disdain. He stretched out a palm and slapped towards the cold wind. Bang! Before that ball of wind could even get close to Jiang Ping, it was directly smashed into pieces. The little ghost in the chilly wind didn't even have time to scream before it died. Yang Wu could see a mass of black fog disappear between heaven and earth. It was the body of an imp. Senior brother, are you really going in? The small ghosts and big ghosts here are hard to deal with. There are also some flesh eaters. Once you meet them, it will be troublesome. Which ghost region is your old friend in? Why don't you think of a way to get him to come out? Jiang Ping turned around and said, in the past, he had also come to this place for an adventure. In the end, he was forced to flee in a sorry state by those old ghosts. I don't know where he is either. I haven't contacted him for many years. Yang Wu sighed. Then we can only catch a few old ghosts and interrogate them. Tell me about the situation in the ghost domain first. We'll plan before we act. We're already here, and you're still planning before acting. Senior brother, you're playing with me. The ghost domain was the same as the other realms. It was divided into many different territories. There were Hungry Ghost Clan, Flesh-Eating Ghost Clan, Illusory Ghost Clan, Ghost Emperor Clan. Different ghost clans had different talents. The only thing they had in common was that their soul force was exceptionally strong. Yang Wu's trip this time was to find Lei Zhongjuan. He didn't know which ghost clan the other party had entered. In the past few years, Lei Zhongjuan had never contacted him. He didn't know if the other party had betrayed him or not. He said that he would bring Lei Zhongjuan with him to the Purple Firmament Palace. Lei Zhongjuan also wanted revenge. Naturally, he didn't want to miss this opportunity. He was afraid that Lei Zhongjuan had already adapted to his identity as a ghost and didn't want to take revenge. Or perhaps he had already died in the ghost domain. Through Jiang Ping's analysis, Yang Wu felt that Lei Zhongjuan was most likely to go to the Ghost Emperor clan. The so-called Ghost Emperor clan was the royal clan of the Ghost Clan. They occupied a large territory. Moreover, their appearance was similar to that of the human race. Normally, ghost clans in human form would join the Ghost Emperor clan. With the direction in mind, the two of them started to move. They headed in the direction of the Ghost Emperor clan. Although Yang Wu and Jiang Ping were skilled and daring, they didn't dare to travel through the Ghost Clan's territory openly. They restrained their auras and isolated their life force to avoid being discovered by the Ghost Clan. They were very powerful. After restraining their auras, they avoided a lot of trouble. Yang was finally able to see the living conditions of the Ghost Clan. They all had different appearances. Some were like trees, some were like rocks, and some were like ferocious beasts. They were all in the form of bodies. Occasionally, they would let out whistling sounds. Their ferocious facial features were changing. It was indeed very frightening. They swallowed the qi of heaven and earth to grow. The denser the qi, the more ghosts there would be. They would also fight with each other. They would swallow each other's bodies to strengthen themselves. They saw an old ghost swallow thousands of ghosts in one breath. This was an old ghost that had reached the minor saint realm. The old ghost's soul energy fluctuation was very strong. Its sensing range was also very wide. If Yang Wu and Jiang Ping weren't much stronger than the old ghost, they would have been discovered by him. In the ghost clan's territory, it wasn't easy for them to hide completely. While they were moving quickly, they encountered the Illusion Ghost Clan. The Illusion Ghost Clan didn't have legs. Only their upper body floated. They liked to wander around in groups, looking for otherworldly items to swallow. When they saw Yang Wu and Jiang Ping, they immediately cried out in alarm. Some humans have sneaked into our territory. They brought food. Eat them. Huff, huff. Their yang qi is very strong, absorbing yang to nourishing. Great. The Illusion Ghost Clan swarmed forward and created illusions to create trouble for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. However, these illusion ghosts were too weak. Yang Wu didn't even have to do anything. They were burned to death by Jiang Ping. This time, they were in big trouble. The Ghost Clan's territory hated the appearance of extreme yang energy the most. The firepower was so shocking that it attracted a large number of ghosts to attack. The army of ghosts stopped killing each other and chose to unite against the outside world. In their opinion, swallowing Yang Wu and Jiang Ping, two yang bodies, was equivalent to cultivating for decades or even centuries. In fact, these ghosts were also the best nourishment for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. They had eaten bodies, which were good for nourishing their souls. When Jiang Ping was killing these ghosts, he took the opportunity to absorb a large number of ghost spirits to replenish the power of his soul. The side effects of absorbing ghost spirits by force were obvious. It could easily cause damage to one's soul or make it impure. It was not good for the purity of one's soul and was not good for increasing one's strength. Jiang Ping obviously didn't have such concerns. He must have a secret technique to purify the power of these ghost spirits. Yang Wu didn't hold back either. His ability to devour the ghostly spirits was even more excessive than Jiang Ping's. 2/3 of the ghostly spirits that were scattered throughout the world were devoured by him. The remaining was something that he deliberately allowed Jiang Ping to absorb. Otherwise, Jiang Ping would have gotten even less. Senior brother, take it easy. This ghost spirit power will corrode the soul. Jiang Ping didn't forget to remind Yang Wu. I'm your senior brother. If you're not afraid, what do I have to be afraid of? Yang Wu replied. Jiang Ping was so angry at Yang Wu that his teeth hurt. This defeat was really a defeat for the rest of his life. He had to turn the tables and defeat Yang Wu. He also wanted to be Jiang Ping's senior brother. They had caused such a big commotion that a ghost saint had appeared. Humans, are you trying to start a war between the two races? A hungry ghost saint carried a bone spear and shouted. This hungry ghost saint's body was bloated, but his speed was very light. His body was full of yin qi, and he was standing on a ghost. He was a mid-level ghost saint. This ghost body's strength isn't weak. Jiang Ping revealed a look of greed. He wanted to rush forward, but was stopped by Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at the ghost saint and cupped his hands. We have no intention of being enemies with your race. It's just that you treat us as enemies. The hungry ghost saint stuck out his long tongue and licked it. You humans are full of yang qi. Not only do the little ghosts want to eat you, but even I want to eat you. Come and have a taste, Jiang Ping said aggressively. No. If you dare to come, then you must have something to rely on. I'm not that stupid. The hungry ghost saint replied. He then said, This is the territory of our hungry ghost tribe. Why don't you two come to our place as guests? We can have a good chat if there is anything. Forget it, we're just passing by. As long as you tell us the direction of the Ghost Emperor tribe, it will be fine. Yang Wu refused. You want to go to the Ghost Emperor tribe? Do you have a Ghost Emperor token? The hungry ghost saint asked in surprise. Jiang Ping rushed to answer. If we had a Ghost Emperor token, then you little ghosts wouldn't dare to bully us. So you don't have a Ghost Emperor token. Then it's easy. The hungry ghost saint licked his lips and laughed. Let's go, Yang Wu said without hesitation. In the next moment, he had already flown away. The hungry ghost saint stopped in front of Yang Wu and said, Why are you in such a hurry, honored guest? We haven't received you yet. Put away your disgusting face. Do you believe that I won't kill you first? Yang Wu said with a ruthless aura. He had already sensed the hungry ghost saint's intentions. The other party was waiting for the army to arrive. Without waiting for the hungry ghost saint to reply, Jiang Ping had already attacked from the side. A storm of power flew towards the hungry ghost saint. Whoosh whoosh. The hungry ghost saint didn't expect Jiang Ping to attack just like that. The storm's power twisted off a small part of his saint body, causing him to cry out in pain. Damn human race, I will definitely eat you. The hungry ghost saint roared and waved the bone weapon in his hand. The power of Yin Qi rushed towards Jiang Ping's soul. This was an attack aimed at the soul. Ghost Lake, you can't eat alone. We are coming. Another hungry ghost saint's voice rang out. Chapter 13:20. This was the territory of the hungry ghost tribe. Once a hungry ghost saint appeared, more hungry ghost saints would appear. In the blink of an eye, 8 more hungry ghost saints appeared. The strongest among them was a high-level saint realm hungry ghost. The larger the physique of these hungry ghosts, the more powerful they were. They were terrifying fellows who had devoured large amounts of otherworldly items to grow. Surrounded by these hungry ghost saints, Yang Wu and Jiang Ping were not surprised at all. They were still discussing how to deal with them through voice transmission. Should we kill them or not? Jiang Ping asked Yang Wu. My goal is to find someone, not to start a massacre. If we turn this place upside down, I'm afraid it will be too troublesome, Yang Wu replied. No matter what kind of trouble it is, they are here. Let me kill them first, Jiang Ping replied. He turned into a gust of wind and attacked the hungry ghost saints. These hungry ghost saints were especially good at hunting humans. They did not wait for Jiang Ping to come over and had already attacked. Said the hungry ghost saints. Long tongues swept towards Jiang Ping and Yang Wu like divine weapons. These tongues appeared to be solid, but they were actually condensed from ghost qi. This ghost qi was the most yin qi. It was not something that ordinary people could resist. Once touched, they would tremble all over and their blood would not flow smoothly. In the worst case, their bodies would become stiff and unable to move. They could only be slaughtered by the hungry ghost saints. Jiang Ping was not afraid of the yin qi. He turned into a flaming phoenix and attacked. A flaming sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed at the hungry ghost saints. The phoenix danced. A burst of intense fire formed a prairie fire, incinerating many tongues. This annoying power increased the power and extinguished him. The hungry ghost saint in the lead roared. Gusts of yin qi swept over and suppressed the power of the phoenix fire. Just when they thought they had captured Jiang Ping appeared behind the 2 hungry ghost saints and slashed out with his flaming sword, cutting the 2 hungry ghost saints in half. Jiang Ping sneered. Who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant in front of this young master? Become this young master's soul food. Jiang Ping's sword skills were also quite shocking. He had produced a sword Dao, which was the phoenix sword Dao. Every sword slash was like the cry of a phoenix, and it was also like a phoenix dancing in the air, drowning the hungry ghost saint in front of him. On the other side, 3 hungry ghost saints also charged toward Yang Wu. After the hungry ghost path appeared, disgusting crimson tongues covered the entire area. If a timid cultivator were to face these tongues, their legs would definitely go soft. How could they even think about fighting? Yang Wu was skilled and bold. His strength was astonishing. Naturally, he was not afraid of this. He raised his hand and slapped it directly. Bang! Bang! These tongues were directly smashed into pieces. Magic Shadow Needle. God-beating whip. Yang Wu's fighting soul rushed out, and the magic shadow needle pierced towards these hungry ghost saints. He also held the God-beating whip and attacked the other party. Yang Wu did not move. He wanted to temper his fighting soul in battle. One of the hungry ghost saints was pierced by the magic shadow needle and immediately cried out in pain. At the same time, the God-beating whip struck, and his ghost soul was directly scattered. The God-beating whip specialized in attacking souls. It lashed out again and again, and the other 2 hungry ghost saints did not even have the chance to block it. Their strength was still much weaker than Yang Wu's fighting soul. The original hungry ghost saint did not even have the chance to exchange a blow and was destroyed. The scattered ghost soul power wanted to condense again and rebuild the ghost body. Unfortunately, the hungry ghost saint in the lead pounced over and swallowed them all. Haha, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Let me increase my strength. The hungry ghost saint roared, and his body grew bigger again. The aura of a top-tier ghost saint swept out in all directions. Not only did this hungry ghost saint not save his companions, he even swallowed his companions' ghost souls to increase his strength. This was the cruelty of the ghost race. Yang Wu did not stop him. Instead, he calmly watched. He waited for the other party to finish leveling up. In his heart, he thought, the ghost owl is not that simple. After the hungry ghost saint finished leveling up, he raised his hand and grabbed at Yang Wu. Countless ghost chi formed a huge claw that descended on Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu raised his hand and directly smashed it. If you have any ultimate skills, quickly use them. You only have one chance. Yang Wu calmly looked at the hungry ghost saint and said, the hungry ghost saint roared, then I will let you see what a ghost is. 10,000 ghost devour. A terrifying ghost chi formed into incomparably terrifying ghosts. There were small ghosts, big ghosts, and also old ghosts. They came from the ground or from the air and directly pounced on Yang Wu, wanting to eat him. This was a soul attack, but it was also an illusion. At the same time, it carried a fatal attack. Yang Wu's war soul held the god-beating whip and crazily swung it. One ghost after another was scattered. Unfortunately, there were too many of these ghosts. They had already pounced on his body and were devouring his flesh and yang qi. The spiritual and physical saint attacks are indeed quite powerful, Yang Wu said as the heart fire floated on his body. In an instant, the ghosts on his body were burned to death. In addition, he also pointed at the hungry ghost saint. The power of the divine flame was too terrifying. How could the hungry ghost saint dare to face it? He let out a strange cry and quickly ran away. Unfortunately, no matter how he ran, the power of this finger followed him like a shadow and quickly caught up to him. His body exploded. Roar! A sorrowful roar that came from the heart was heard by all the ghost race in a radius of 10,000 miles. Not good, let's go. Yang Wu cried out in alarm and quickly fled in a certain direction. Jiang Ping was absorbing the ghosts. When he heard Yang Wu's cry, he also ran and exclaimed, "Senior brother, wait for me." In the next moment, he turned into a gust of wind and quickly chased after them. Suddenly, a shocking cloud of yin qi rolled over like a dark cloud. A huge ghost claw furiously clawed in the direction of Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. This was a ghost that had reached the god realm. Otherwise, it would not have such an imposing aura. Jiang Ping fled a little slower. Just as he was about to be caught by the ghost claw, he instantly split into three and fled in different directions. The ghost claw grabbed empty air. The ghost claw swept towards Yang Wu again, and a voice rang out. "A puny human dares to trespass into my race. You really don't know what's good for you." Just as his voice fell, his ghost claw was directly cut off by a sword light. Moreover, a shocking sword intent slashed towards the dark cloud. The sword light was abundant, and the sword chi was astonishing. It broke the dark cloud apart. The god realm hungry ghost let out a miserable cry. It was obvious that it had been severely injured. Taking advantage of this moment, Yang Wu called out to Jiang Ping and quickly fled in a certain direction. Just now, it was Yang Wu who had taken out the Big Dipper sword to injure the hungry ghost. Otherwise, if they had been entangled by the Ghost Clan and more Ghost Clan experts had appeared, it would have been difficult for them to escape. Yang Wu and Jiang Ping fled 1,000 miles. They quickly retracted their auras and carefully hid, not daring to expose themselves. We can go on like this. Sooner or later, we'll be killed by them first. Jiang Ping said somewhat anxiously. Yes, we have to think of a way. Yang Wu said seriously. He then asked, "What good plan do you have? What good plan can I have?" "Disguise as ghosts." Jiang Ping spread out his hands. "Disguise as ghosts? Yang Wu was stunned. You don't know about that. Make yourself look like a ghost and absorb some yin qi. As long as you conceal yourself well, you won't easily expose yourself. Jiang Ping replied proudly. That's a good idea. But how do we absorb the ghost qi? Isn't it easy to absorb the ghost qi? Use your soul. Watch me. After Jiang Ping said this, the soul in the god's court began to breathe in and out. The ghost qi surged towards him and wrapped around him. It felt gloomy, as if he was a ghost creature. Yang Wu looked at how Jiang Ping did it, and soon he understood the principle behind it. He operated the soul tactics to absorb the yin qi in the surroundings. His soul force swept out and integrated into the yin qi, consolidating the yin qi and not letting it dissipate. If he was really immersed in the yin qi, it would be difficult for the ghost race to distinguish whether he was a human or a ghost. You learn quite quickly. That's about it. Jiang Ping said. It's not enough. Yang Wu muttered to himself. The yin qi covering his body began to change. Jiang Ping watched Yang Wu's change. His eyes widened and his mouth opened so wide that a fist could be stuffed in. You can do this. At this time, the yin qi covering Yang Wu's body changed into the appearance of a hungry ghost. It didn't look exactly like one, but it was 70 to 80% similar. It was even harder to distinguish between the real and the fake. It was no wonder Jiang Ping was so surprised. Yang Wu's appearance was enough to walk unhindered among the hungry ghosts. He didn't have to worry about his identity being discovered. How can I be your senior brother if I don't have some skills? This time, it was Yang Wu's turn to be proud. How did you do it? Jiang Ping asked. It's a secret. Senior brother, my good senior brother, you brought me to this damn place. Do you have the heart to see me die here? Hurry up and teach me. Let me become like you. It's safer. When you treat me as your senior brother, I will naturally pass it on to you. In my heart, you are already my senior brother. You are the head disciple of the heavenly palace and the future palace lord. I swear to follow you. Then let's talk about it when we find the person. Yang Wu being able to turn into a hungry ghost was naturally due to the miraculous shape-shifting technique. The yin qi here was very heavy. Using the power of the soul to condense the yin qi and transform into a hungry ghost, it was twice the result with half the effort. The shape-shifting technique was very miraculous. Yang Wu definitely wouldn't teach it to Jiang Ping so easily. Unless Jiang Ping really submitted to him one day, he wouldn't consider this problem. After they disguised themselves as ghosts, they wouldn't swagger around here. Maybe they would meet some special ghosts who would see through their identities. The ghost realm was not small. Continuing to look for people like this was no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. They had to change their method. Yang Wu decided to bring some ghost race people over to control them and then find out more about Lei Zhongjuan. Yang Wu didn't know that Lei Zhongjuan had already become famous among the ghosts. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so troublesome. Chapter 1321. It was easy for Yang Wu and Jiang Ping to catch a few ghosts. However, after controlling the ghosts, they didn't get the information they wanted. The only thing they got was the location of the Ghost Emperor tribe, which made it easier for them to travel. As they went deeper, the ghost aura became thicker and thicker. They didn't dare to crazily absorb the ghost aura here, as they were afraid that it would affect their soul's emotions, which would be detrimental to their soul's growth. It wasn't easy for non-ghosts or otherworldly items to absorb the ghost aura. Once they absorbed it, it would cause all kinds of negative emotions which could lead to chi deviation. Yang Wu had the Black Demon Thunder Orb in the Divine Palace. After the ghost aura and yin aura entered it, it would be refined, leaving only a trace of pure yin aura for his soul to absorb. This was also the reason why he could ignore the ghost aura and yin aura. Jiang Ping also had a special method to ignore the ghost aura and yin aura, but he didn't dare to absorb too much. In the ghost race's territory, there are not only different kinds of ghost race, but also the corpse race, the demonic sound clan, the Death Star clan, and other races that absorbed yin aura. In addition, there were many extreme yin items growing in these places, which were also very attractive to alchemists. On the way, Yang Wu also collected some otherworldly items that the ghost race didn't care about. These otherworldly items' levels weren't high enough, but he could use them well to make full use of them. After finding Lei Zhongjuan, I will collect a batch of high-level otherworldly items. Yang Wu made up his mind. At this time, they passed by a continuous mountain range, which was occupied by many otherworldly items. They were still fighting fiercely. The hungry ghost race was fighting with the demonic sound clan. The demonic sound clan looked very strange. They were translucent, like ghosts floating in the air. However, there was a big difference between them and ghosts. Their bodies were very long, and they could twist and turn at any time. They were creatures that could hide and assassinate. The two races were fighting over the blooming dark flower. The dark flower was a sacred level spirit flower, which was very rare. It wasn't easy to find even in the ghost realm. No wonder the two races were fighting with all their might. Senior brother, let's wait for both of them to be injured and absorb some of their soul energy. Jiang Ping transmitted his voice to Yang Wu. Without waiting for Yang Wu to reply, a hungry ghoul discovered their existence and cried out in alarm. Lord Gui Qi, quickly come and support us. Yang Wu's appearance had taken on the appearance of the hungry ghost he had encountered at the beginning. Clearly, the other ghosts had recognized him. All right, this lord will help you. Yang Wu used soul voice to speak in a hoarse voice, then quickly rushed towards the two groups of living beings. Hungry Ghost said. In the next moment, Yang Wu displayed the astonishing hungry ghost path, giving Jiang Ping a great fright. He cried out in surprise in his heart. That works too? Is there any justice in this world? Yang Wu's ghost-like appearance was already frightening enough, but he could also use the hungry ghost Dao. This was too heaven-defying. This was the magical part of Yang Wu's immortal moon mirror technique. It could imitate any martial Dao. A blood-red tongue swept towards the Yin ghosts, directly twisting them into balls of Yin Qi. There was no way they could withstand a single blow. The ones fighting over the underworld flowers were only some small saint-level living beings. The strongest one was only an early saint-level living being. In Yang Wu's eyes, they were nothing. After Yang Wu entered the fray, the Yin ghosts scattered and didn't dare to stay any longer. Many thanks for Lord Gui Qi's help. The hungry ghoul race's living beings stepped forward and said gratefully, Yang Wu coldly snorted and directly put away the underworld flowers. The hungry ghoul race's living beings didn't dare to make a sound. If they dared to make a sound, they would probably be swallowed by the ghost lake. You can't even eat a few Yin ghosts. You guys are a disgrace to my race. Jiang Ping sinisterly said from the side. The hungry ghoul race's eyes landed on Jiang Ping. Their ghost faces revealed a strange expression. This guy didn't look like a member of their race. One of the hungry ghouls went up and sniffed Jiang Ping's body. Jiang Ping took a few steps back and shouted, How dare you? You're not a lord of my race. The hungry ghoul said with certainty. Just as Jiang Ping was about to start a massacre, Yang Wu said, He's a mutated guy under my control. Don't mind him. The hungry ghouls didn't suspect him. Gui Qi was very powerful. It was reasonable for him to control some living beings. Have you guys heard a guy called Lei Zhongjuan? Yang Wu asked the hungry ghouls. The hungry ghouls' faces were filled with confusion. It was obvious that they hadn't heard of it before. Yang Wu was very disappointed. He brought Jiang Ping along and continued on his journey. Scared this baby to death. These fellows' senses are so sharp. I've already disguised myself like this, so how could they still tell that I'm not a ghost? Jiang Ping patted his chest and said, Who told you to talk too much? Yang Wu rolled his eyes and said, Isn't their senior brother here? How could they dare to cause any trouble? Jiang Ping flattered. After pausing for a bit, he then said, Senior brother, for your big matter, you should teach me the disguise technique. I promise I won't teach it to anyone else. Yang Wu changed the topic and said, I'm planning on doing something big. What do you want to do? Don't scare me. Jiang Ping hesitated a bit and said, It'll be a waste of my time like this. I'll disguise myself as Lei Zhongjuan and test the ghost race's higher-ups. I'll see if they know of his existence. You stay on the side and watch. After Yang Wu said this, he began to recall Lei Zhongjuan's appearance. The yin qi on his body changed, and his appearance slowly changed into Lei Zhongjuan's appearance. His true body didn't change, but there was an extra layer of yin qi and soul energy that wrapped around his true body. From the outside, it looked like Lei Zhongjuan. Once the yin qi scattered, his true appearance could be seen. This was the power of the 1,000 transformations technique. Jiang Ping looked at Yang Wu's transformation with envy. Yang Wu openly walked around and headed towards a place with dense yin qi. He was looking for the ghost race's big guy. In the Yin mountain range, waves of yin qi surged like fog. Gusts of yin qi whistled through the air. In a place like this, even the stars' energy would be cut off, and the xian qi of heaven and earth would be extremely scarce. To the human race, it would be greatly suppressed. Jiang Ping didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. He retracted his aura to the extreme and silently followed beside Yang Wu. As Yang Wu walked, he absorbed the yin qi around him. Souls liked yin qi because it could strengthen their souls. The immortal immortality peach tree also needed the nourishment of yin qi. It was also crazily devouring yin qi to replenish its yin qi. Only by combining yin and yang could it grow quickly. The sacred mandala flower could also absorb yin qi. It was an evil creature, so it liked all kinds of evil auras. Because of this, Yang Wu's entire body was covered in yin qi, causing a large commotion. Some of the small ghosts and big ghosts nearby didn't dare to get close after sensing it. They even stayed far away. In their eyes, once they got close, they would die. After entering the Yin mountain range, there were even more Yin creatures. Yang Wu killed these Yin creatures and absorbed all their Yin qi. This was how the ghosts survived. The strong preyed on the weak. After Yang Wu caused a commotion, a big guy appeared. TSK, who dares to behave so atrociously in my territory? A big-headed ghost appeared and sneered. Yang Wu wasn't polite with the other party. His great sorrow hand shot out from a distance. Countless yin qi was pulled and fiercely covered the big-head ghost. The big-headed ghost was a mid-level ghost saint. When it saw this move, it was extremely frightened. It quickly fled, but it was still smashed into pieces. The Hand of Mercy was a quasi-god skill. Even if it was weakened, it still displayed shocking power. This move caused a part of the Yin mountain to collapse. Many of the Yin race's creatures were killed. Yang Wu accelerated his absorption of the Yin qi. The power of his soul was rapidly increasing. It was rare for him to come to the ghost realm. He had to earn enough. After he attacked, the big guys that appeared were even bigger. After Yang Wu killed a few saint-level creatures, a top-level saint-level ghost finally roared. "Prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe, why are you attacking us? I'm not the Ghost Emperor tribe's prince. You've got the wrong person." Yang Wu looked at the seven-eyed ghost calmly. The seven-eyed ghost's 7 lantern-sized eyes were flickering with ghostly fire. It was very scary. "How can I be wrong?" The seven-eyed ghost replied. "I was lucky enough to see your highness during your coronation. If your highness wants to go out, you can tell me. There's no need to make such a big fuss." Now, Yang Wu was sure that the ghost knew where Lei Zhongjuan was. "Oh, since you've recognized me, then let's forget about it. But I need a lot of food." Yang Wu went with the flow. "Then, your highness, please come to my ghost palace for a chat. I'll prepare some food for you." The seven-eyed ghost replied politely. Yang Wu nodded and followed the seven-eyed ghost to his cave. The yin qi in the seven-eyed ghost's cave was very thick. Non-yin creatures couldn't withstand it. Jiang Ping didn't dare to get close. He could only wait from afar. He thought of something, and his face changed. He screamed to his heart, "Oh no, senior brother has been tricked." The seven-eyed ghost's ghost eyes were very powerful. Even if they used the yin qi to hide their identities, he would have seen through them. The seven-eyed ghost must have purposely led Yang Wu into the cave. Jiang Ping wanted to warn him, but it was too late. One after another, ghosts appeared around him and surrounded him. "You want to trick our Lord's eyes? You really don't know what's good for you." An old ghost dug out from the ground and grabbed Jiang Ping's feet. In the next instant, countless ghost creatures attacked at the same time. They wanted to tear Jiang Ping apart. "Get out of my way." Jiang Ping was shocked. Phoenix flames surged around his body. The yang flames burned away the power of these ghost creatures. Jiang Ping didn't dare to stay. He turned around and quickly fled. Senior brother, take care of yourself. Chapter 1322. The Seven-Eyed Ghost was a top-level ghost saint. He was one of the overlords in the Fangyin mountain range. Yang Wu had openly started a massacre in his territory, which had indeed aroused his displeasure. However, when he saw Yang Wu's appearance, he was shocked. He thought that Yang Wu was the new prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe. However, when he took a closer look, he realized that this wasn't the case. This person was clearly not a ghost, but a young human. How dare he pretend to be the prince of the Ghost Emperor tribe? Therefore, he decided to make the best of his mistake and led Yang Wu to his cave. His cave wasn't simple. It had the 10,000 ghost formation. It could definitely keep this human here. When Yang Wu followed the seven-eyed ghost to the cave, he felt that something was wrong. The 7 eyes of the seven-eyed ghost were too bright. Perhaps he had already seen through Yang Wu's true identity. Now he was just inviting Yang Wu into a trap. Yang Wu didn't panic. Even if it was a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, he still had to try. When Yang Wu entered the pitch-black cave, the seven-eyed ghost used his power to seal the cave. He cried out, "How dare you pretend to be a prince and barge into my territory? Human, you are really bold." Woo-woo. Suddenly, countless ferocious ghosts screamed. That horrifying voice spread to every corner. Yang Wu's divine court only felt that it was buzzing nonstop. He saw one terrifying ghost face after another. Some licked his face, some grabbed his heart, and some hugged his legs. It was as if he had entered a ghost hell. It was really scary. These ghost powers were all condensed from yin qi. They could corrode the nerves and flesh of living creatures. In the end, they would turn into a madman. They would also eat him until he died with only a pile of bones left. This was the terrifying part of the 10,000 ghost formation. No matter how bold Yang Wu was, he still felt a bit scared when facing these ghosts. "Lan Yao Ji," Yang Wu shouted. The fire in his heart appeared and burned all of the evil spirits in an instant. The ghosts kept screaming and didn't dare to get close to Yang Wu. The seven-eyed ghost was not afraid because of this. He controlled the formation and sneered. "So you only dare to come to my ghost realm because of this flame. Wait until I take your flame. It will help my ghost fire advance to the next level." 10,000 ghosts spit fog. The 10,000 ghost boundary rippled, and the ghost spat out clouds of ghost fog. The stench and poison wrapped around Yang Wu, and the extreme yin power suppressed Lan Yao's power. When the yin power reached a certain level, even the godly fire could be extinguished. Unfortunately, the yin qi here had not reached that level. Blue Demoness turned into a black tortoise and roared. Blue flame spread out and burned many ghosts. The yin qi was also burned away. Seven-Eyed Ghost was shocked. Before he could use his next move, Blue Enchantress pounced at him. "Godly fire, it's definitely godly fire. Damn it." Seven-Eyed Ghost shouted and retreated. Ghost fire shot out from his 7 eyes to block Blue Enchantress' attack. Ghost fire was also a type of extreme yin fire. Its level was not low, but it could only submit in front of Blue Enchantress. Seven-Eyed Ghost retreated to the depths of the cave. The formation moved again, and waves of yin power shot out, filling the entire cave. The cries of ghosts disappeared into Yang Wu's courtyard. The 10,000 ghost formation's illusion. This level of illusion could easily deal with a large number of saint-level creatures. If it was someone else who came in, they would most likely be doomed. Yang Wu's soul was very strong, and his mind was as firm as the sea. The soul-striking whip scattered the illusion, and Blue Enchantress burned away all of the yin power. I asked for it." Seven-Eyed Ghost wanted to cry. Originally, he had invited Yang Wu in to kill him. In the end, it looked like he asked for it. After Yang Wu took care of these problems, he sat down on a cold rock and looked at Seven-Eyed Ghost. "Tell me everything about that prince, and I can consider letting you go. Don't even think about it." Seven-Eyed Ghost shouted. Ghost fire shot out from his 7 eyes at Yang Wu. Blue Enchantress's intelligence was already activated. Before the attack landed on Yang Wu, it had already blocked the 7 ghost fire. It looks like you still want to struggle in vain, Yang Wu said faintly. He shot out the demonic shadow needles. 108 needles fiercely pierced into the 7 ghost eyes. Yang Wu attacked as quickly as he could. Seven-eyed ghost couldn't dodge at all. He screamed in pain from the demonic shadow needles, and ghost fire kept coming out of his eyes. Blue Enchantress pounced forward again and caught all of the ghost fire. Explode! Seven-eyed ghost shouted, and his ghost body exploded. Yang Wu didn't think that he would be so decisive. He couldn't beat him, so he self-destructed. The terrifying power swept towards him, and the destructive power was very frightening. Black tortoise battle armor. Yang Wu's Xian Qi floated, and the 7 layers of saint robes turned into battle armor. The powerful defensive force deflected the incoming power. The cave started to collapse, and some of the ghost fire took the chance to escape. Yang Wu didn't relax at all. He quickly sealed all of the ghost fire. How could he let the pigeons in his hands escape? A few balls of ghost fire were caught together, and the 7-eyed ghost appearance was revealed. He had lost a lot of power, but he was still alive. He didn't die from self-destruction. What are you trying to do? Our ghost race won't let you go. 7-eyed ghost shouted as he struggled. I'm going to refine you. Yang Wu bared his teeth and said. He began to refine 7-eyed ghost's power. This time, he would slowly refine the other party and extract the other party's memories. This was a delicate task. Memories weren't so easy to extract. This 7-eyed ghost was in for a tragedy. He wanted to trick 9-eyed ghost, but he ended up trapping himself. The ghost fire was swallowed by blue demoness, and the soul power left behind was refined by Yang Wu. He finally obtained some information that he wanted. Lei Zhongjuan was indeed in the Ghost Imperial tribe. He had become a prince and was doing very well in the ghost race. After Yang Wu confirmed this, he decided to go to the Ghost Imperial tribe. No matter whether 9-eyed ghost's intentions had changed, he had to go and take a look. Before that, Yang Wu searched through the ghost cave and found a ball of ghost fire. Blue demoness had swallowed most of it, and only a small part of it was sealed in the sealing bead. With Yang Wu's strength, it was easy for him to condense a sealing bead. Ghost fire was a fire seed of extreme Yin. It was very suitable for women with extreme Yin bodies to absorb and refine. Yang Wu planned to give it to white-haired demoness. She needed this ghost fire. Also, he dug out many items of extreme Yin from the ghost cave. Among them was a section of Yin searchwood. It was the eye of a Yin formation. It was also an item that people who cultivated extreme Yin energy liked. Yang Wu planned to give it to Lu Ji. Lu Ji cultivated both Yin and Yang. He liked items of extreme Yin and extreme Yang. They could greatly increase his cultivation speed. Yang Wu tidied up a bit and left the ruined immortal cave. When he went outside, he found that Jiang Ping was nowhere to be seen. What an unreliable guy. Yang Wu sighed and ignored him. He quickly went to the Ghost Imperial tribe's territory. This time, Yang Wu didn't hide the Thunder Punishment Cloud. He summoned it and entered the Thunder Punishment Cloud to quickly fly to the Ghost Imperial tribe. Ordinary creatures wouldn't be able to discover the existence of the Thunder Tribulation Cloud. Moreover, Yang Wu had concealed all of his aura. If they couldn't find him, they would only think that he was a floating Thunder Tribulation Cloud. Those otherworldly items hated this kind of Thunder Tribulation Cloud, so they wouldn't bother to investigate. The Ghost Imperial tribe. This was the Ghost Imperial tribe. It was a powerful tribe with many ghost experts. They paid more attention to the purity of their ghost bodies. The purer the ghost body, the more solid it was. Otherwise, it would only be a second-class ghost body. It would be too easy for other ghosts to devour it. The Ghost Imperial tribe looked very similar to humans. The only difference was that they had many ghost tattoos on their bodies. They emitted a thick ghost aura that could exist between a solid and an ethereal body. Once they had a solid body and reached the Saint Realm, they would be crowned as the prince of the Ghost Imperial tribe. They would receive the inheritance of the Ghost Imperial tribe and receive the territory of the Ghost Imperial tribe. After separating from Yang Wu, Lei Zhongjuan entered the Ghost Realm. At that time, he had just reached the Saint Realm. However, he had cultivated the Ghost Cultivation spell, which was the most authentic ghost cultivation spell of the ghost race. After entering the ghost realm, his strength increased by leaps and bounds. He also had the sole memory of his previous life. With the help of the power of thunder and lightning, he cultivated a ghost body that contained yang qi. This was something that only the ghost imperial tribe could do. Therefore, he was crowned as a prince and received a territory. The fief that Lei Zhongjuan obtained was a place that contained evil yin lightning. The place was difficult for ordinary ghosts to stay in, and those who stayed in that place were all extremely powerful ghosts as well as some other living beings. Lei Zhongjuan was born in the Purple Cloud Palace. He used to have the innate thunder body. Even after cultivating the ghost way, he only felt close to the power of thunder and lightning. He didn't have much fear of it. Therefore, he stayed in this territory and mixed in like a fish in water. Many years had passed, and his name had become more and more famous. More and more ghost clan creatures had joined his side, forming a powerful aura. He was also known as a rising star that could be compared to the three most powerful princes. As the saying goes, trees attract the wind. When Lei Zhongjuan was in the prime of his life, the second prince sent an army to conquer him. The second prince, Gui Wuchang, was an extremely powerful guy who had reached the peak of the ghost saint realm. He was as strong as the first prince. The other third prince was not weak either. The first three princes were called the Three Emperors. They represented the strongest saints of the ghost race. In the future, they would also be the main force of the sacred assembly of all races. Lei Zhongjuan's sudden rise from the ranks of the princes, who were originally ranked in the top 100, to the top 20. In just a few short years, this was an incredible achievement. At this moment, Lei Zhongjuan stood on top of a mountain. His robe fluttered in the wind. Ghost Qi was awe-inspiring. A group of ghosts followed behind him. He looked extremely domineering. The cultivator, who almost became the lord of the Purple Cloud Palace, had returned. 5 of the 8 great ghost saints under the second prince's command have come. You think too highly of this prince. Are you afraid? Lei Zhongjuan looked down at the army in front of him and said faintly, "No." Chapter 1323. Yin Thunder Region. The yin qi in this place was very heavy, and there were many evil thunders. The creatures living in this place were not weak. Lei Zhongjuan was like a fish in water in this place. His ghost body had been completely formed, and it was not much different from when he was alive. Moreover, his body was strengthened by the yin thunder. Now, his realm had risen to the realm of a high-level ghost saint, and he had recruited a group of powerful ghost clan creatures. Among them, there were even 2 ghost saints who had reached the peak level. This was the reason why the second prince, Gui Wuchang, had taken notice of him. Once Lei Zhongjuan became a top-level holy ghost, he would probably become one of the 4 emperors. This was something that the 3 emperors did not want to see. However, the 3 emperors had always been patient. Today, the second prince could not help but want to conquer Lei Zhongjuan and make him his right-hand man. Gui Wuchang's army was more than 1 million people. Among them, 5 of the 8 ghost saints came. These 5 ghost saints were all at the peak level. This was the second prince's elite army, and it was enough to wipe out an area. Lei Zhongjuan and the other ghost clan creatures were shocked that the other side had sent such a large army. However, Lei Zhongjuan had his own way of winning people's hearts. He passed on some of the ghost body refinement chants to help the ghost saints around him reach a higher level and win their loyalty. Therefore, even if they only had an army of 500,000, they were not afraid of the other side. In the second prince's army, 5 ghost saints flew up. The leader, the 3-headed ghost saint, said faintly, "Your Highness 19th Prince, are you still going to resist? This is this prince's territory. Do you really think that this prince is easy to bully?" Lei Zhongjuan replied, "The second prince admires your ability. Quickly surrender. In the future, we will work for the second prince together. Won't that be great?" The 3-headed ghost saint said, "Why don't you join my army and work with me? You will reach the ghost god realm in the future. Why are you still following the second prince?" Lei Zhongjuan said with a cold smile, "Stubborn. Then I'll kill all of you." The 3-headed ghost saint shouted and gave the order to his army. For a time, yin winds howled wildly and ghost chi filled the air. The majestic formation was incomparably terrifying. Different ghost creatures charged towards the army behind Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan had always been as steady as Mount Tai. He looked at the million-strong army as if they were nothing in his eyes. "You dare to behave atrociously in this prince's territory? You really don't know the difference between life and death. Evil thunder array, kill you." Seeing the million-strong army approaching, Lei Zhongjuan roared, and a spell formation appeared around him. Strands of Yin lightning would acted as the eye of the formation, releasing traces of mysterious power. Suddenly, Yin lightning filled the gloomy sky, and the dark clouds formed a pressure of Mount Tai, causing the million-strong army to panic. Rumble, rumble. The demonic Yin lightning descended like a python, blasting towards the ghostly beings. The demonic Yin lightning was also a type of extreme Yin energy, but it belonged to the power of thunder and lightning. Ghost creatures that had yet to condense a physical ghost body were unable to withstand it at all. Only ghost cultivators who had condensed a physical ghost body and were extremely powerful could withstand it. All of a sudden, the millions of ghostly beings were thrown into chaos. Demonic Yin lightning. How did they do it? Run. I can't take it. I'll be struck until my soul disperses. Ah, he's simply trying to kill us all here. How dare he do this? His Highness the Second Prince will definitely not let him off. Let's charge over quickly. Perhaps we'll still have a chance of survival. Just as the million-strong army was about to be scattered, the three ghost sages shouted, "Old Five, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?" Next, a headless ghost floated out, and a ghost flew out, forming a canopy in the sky, blocking out the entire area. A ghost banner covered the sky. This was a ghost banner that was half a step away from being a god. It enveloped the million-strong army and blocked all the demonic Yin lightning. Lei Zhongjuan waved his hand. "Devour them! Kill!" The 500,000-strong army behind him roared in unison. Many of the ghostly beings unleashed shocking attacks at the same time, landing on the million-strong army that was panicking. The two armies of the Ghost Clan clashed fiercely. 1/3 of the million-strong army was killed by the demonic Yin lightning. The remaining ghostly beings were in a mess. Moreover, their general combat strength was not comparable to Lei Zhongjuan's 500,000-strong army. For a moment, Lei Zhongjuan's army had the upper hand. When two armies clashed, the brave would win. It was not so easy for Lei Zhongjuan to win this battle. The key was how to deal with the 5 peak ghost sages and dozens of ghost sages. The final victor would only be decided in the Battle of the Saint Realm. The 3 ghost sages led a wave of ghost sages to attack Lei Zhongjuan. The second prince's mission for them was to kill Lei Zhongjuan if he did not submit. Otherwise, they would not be able to return. Lei Zhongjuan was only a high-level ghost cultivator, but his combat strength was not inferior to that of a top ghost cultivator. This had been proven by other ghost sages, so they did not dare to be careless. Lei Zhongjuan also had dozens of ghost sages behind him. Although their ordinary realm was not as strong as the ghost sages led by the 3 ghost sages, they were not weak. Ghost cultivators who could withstand the demonic Yin lightning were not weak. The 3 ghost sages wanted to kill Lei Zhongjuan, but they were blocked by a peak ghost sage beside Lei Zhongjuan. In the end, the weakest of the 5 great ghost sages, the Blood Fong ghost sage, faced Lei Zhongjuan. The most powerful thing about the Blood Fong ghost sage was his mouth. His row of bloody teeth was like a sharp weapon that could gnaw through anything hard. Lei Zhongjuan recultivated his realm and experienced 2 trips to the Saint Realm. His combat strength was very strong. He held a demonic lightning bone spear and stabbed at the Blood Fong ghost sage. As he waved his spear, the demonic Yin lightning accompanied it. The Blood Fong ghost sage was shocked. "Whoa, Prince 19, you are so powerful," the Blood Fong ghost sage screamed. Suddenly, he opened his mouth and formed a black hole-like power that enveloped Lei Zhongjuan. His 2 rows of front teeth were like knives. It was very scary. The power of a top ghost sage was not a joke. Lei Zhongjuan sneered. Another item appeared in his hand. It was the soul-suppressing pot that he had not used in a long time. Under his power, the soul-suppressing pot became bigger and smashed into the blood-fong ghost sage's mouth like a mountain. Bang! The soul-suppressing pot had a shocking origin. It was one of the top 100 saint weapons on the saint weapon ranking. It was extremely hard and could suppress some souls. It was a peak saint weapon. Several of the blood-fong ghost sage's front teeth were broken. He screamed in pain. Lei Zhongjuan turned into lightning. The demonic lightning bone spear stabbed at the blood-fong ghost sage like a storm. The blood-fong ghost sage could not block it in time and was heavily injured. He didn't dare to be defeated just like that. Something flew out. It was a ghost seal, and it flew toward Lei Zhongjuan. Ghost seal. Many evil spirits rushed out, and countless ghostly hands grabbed at Lei Zhongjuan. Once he was caught, he would not be able to escape. It was a ghost saint weapon. Lei Zhongjuan reached out and grabbed the soul-suppressing pot. He threw it toward the ghost seal. The two saint weapons collided. He continued to fight the blood-fong ghost sage. The blood-fong ghost sage was no match for Lei Zhongjuan. He hurriedly asked for help. Two other ghost sages surrounded Lei Zhongjuan. They used their ultimate skills to besiege him. Lei Zhongjuan was worthy of being the Prince 19. He was still able to fight 3 ghost sages at ease. The soul-suppressing gourd had become his most handy weapon. It released its power and continuously devoured the yin-chi of these ghostly beings. It even wanted to suppress their souls. In addition, his attacks were accompanied by the demonic lightning. It affected the 3 ghost sages quite a bit. Either you die or I die. Bloodfong Ghost Saint was thoroughly enraged after being unable to take down Lei Zhongjuan for a long time. He roared and unleashed his innate fighting ability. Bloodfong Boundless. Suddenly, a huge change took place in this world. A terrifying sea of blood appeared, and sharp fangs pierced out continuously, filled with destructive power. The other 2 ghost sages also went all out. Hungry Ghost swallows the sky. Phantom decays the soul. Many extremely evil attacks surrounded Lei Zhongjuan, not giving him the slightest chance to catch his breath. Lei Zhongjuan was in danger. He also used all his strength. "I'll kill all of you," Lei Zhongjuan roared. He stabbed the demonic lightning bone spear into the sky. Strands of demonic lightning were drawn down. Boom! The demonic lightning struck. The demonic lightning came very quickly. It hit the Bloodfong Ghost Sage's innate ability and blew up his mouth. Soul-suppressing song. The soul-suppressing gourd let out a strange melody. The strange rhythm fell into the soul consciousness of the ghost saints, causing their soul consciousness to become sluggish. Their attacks instantly weakened, and the melody even drew them towards the soul-suppressing gourd. Whoosh! Before the 2 ghost sages could react, they were swallowed by the soul-suppressing pot. The soul-suppressing pot was definitely the nemesis of ghosts. After Lei Zhongjuan took down the 2 ghost sages, the remaining Bloodfong ghost sage was no longer a threat. Under Lei Zhongjuan's crazy attacks, the Bloodfong ghost sage's body collapsed. His ghost soul escaped. He said with a terrified expression, "Prince 19, spare." Before he could finish, the soul-suppressing pot swept over and suppressed him. "You overestimate yourself," Lei Zhongjuan sneered. Just as he was feeling proud, a giant claw suddenly clawed at him from above. By the time he reacted, it was already half a beat too late. He retreated backwards, but his chest was still torn apart, causing him to cry out in pain. "Prince 19, you're too arrogant. Do you really think we didn't prepare a surprise for you?" A peak ghost sage said. It was a ghost claw. He grabbed a half-step god realm ghost claw and slashed repeatedly. The sky and earth were torn apart. Lei Zhongjuan was in trouble. His combat power was not inferior to the other party, but the other party had a half-step god realm ghost claw. The situation was one-sided. The soul-suppressing pot could not stop it, and the other party did not give him a chance to attract the demonic lightning. In a few blinks of an eye, Lei Zhongjuan's ghost body was covered in wounds. If this continued, he would be doomed. "Hurry up and surrender, or I'll kill you," the ghost claw said proudly. "Surrender my ass." Lei Zhongjuan had not fulfilled his wish, so he could not surrender. When his soul-suppressing pot was sent flying, he cried out, "It's over." It was also at this moment that a figure quietly appeared on the battlefield. None of the ghosts noticed it. Chapter 1324. Evil in Thunder Region. Millions of Ghost Clan creatures were fighting fiercely. Countless In Chi surged, and a lot of Ghost Chi overflowed, creating a shocking phenomenon. Many Ghost Clan creatures who did not participate in the battle were so scared that they hid far away. They did not dare to enter the battle area for fear of being affected. Wave after wave of Ghost Clan creatures died, and then some more powerful Ghost Clan creatures were born. The battle continued. Unless the Ghost Saints of both sides decided the outcome of the battle, it would not change the outcome of the battle. Lei Zhongjuan fought with his life on the line. No matter if it was the attacks of the Ghost Clan or the attacks that contained lightning, they were all used, but they were still unable to stop the attack of a half-step divine weapon. Woo-woo. If you don't surrender, I will tear you apart alive. The Fierce Claw Ghost laughed happily. Lei Zhongjuan had the thought of escaping. But once he escaped, the prestige that he had accumulated with great difficulty and the power that he had gathered with great difficulty would completely collapse overnight. Just as he was distracted, the Ghost Claw furiously clawed at his head. His body was cold, and he had no strength to dodge. Just as the Ghost Claw was about to land on his head, a strong wind swept past and pulled him away. A voice sounded. After so many years, you have only reached this stage. You have really disappointed me. After Lei Zhongjuan heard this voice, his body trembled. He came back to his senses and looked at the person beside him, exclaiming, "You are the Lord?" Yang Wu was still wrapped in a cloud of Yin Qi, but he no longer appeared in the appearance of Lei Zhongjuan. He returned to his original appearance and walked over. After the Fierce Claw Ghost attack missed, he stared at Yang Wu, who suddenly appeared and shouted, "There is still a guy who dares to court death. You are really loyal. I will send you on your way." Immediately, the Ghost Claw fell again, grabbing at Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Wu. "Lord, leave quickly." Lei Zhongjuan still treated Yang Wu as his master. He reacted immediately and pushed Yang Wu away. He did not think that Yang Wu could block the malicious Spirit Claw's attack. Who knew that he would not be able to push Yang Wu away? Instead, he was pulled back by Yang Wu. Yang Wu raised his hand and caught the power of the claw, which stunned them. "Do you think you're invincible with this little bit of strength?" "Ignorant," Yang Wu said indifferently. He grabbed the air with his hand and crushed the power of the Ghost Claw. Bang! The sound of an explosion rang out, and waves of Yin Qi surged out. The Fierce Claw Ghost was also sent flying. Is this true?" Lei Zhongjuan rubbed his eyes and muttered to himself. That was a half-step God-level combat weapon. Under the control of a peak Ghost Saint, only half-step God-level powerhouses could stop it. He found it hard to believe that Yang Wu had done it so easily. The Fierce Claw Ghost realized how powerful Yang Wu was. It screamed and attacked crazily again. Streaks of claw energy that tore through space grabbed at Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not want to waste time here. He turned into an afterimage and dodged the Fierce Claw Ghost attack. He appeared beside it and slapped out a shocking palm. Mercy Hand. This was an inheritance obtained from the Medicine God Palace. It was extremely suitable to be used in such a place full of Yin Qi. The Fierce Claw Ghost did not even have the chance to react before it exploded. Yang Wu grabbed the half-step God-level Ghost Claw and threw it at Lei Zhongjuan. He said, "Clean up the mess first. I'll wait for you." After he finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to Lei Zhongjuan and quietly retreated. In his eyes, the battle of these Ghost Clan creatures did not have much to do with him. He came here only for Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan's improvement was not small, but in his opinion, it was still too weak. The ghost cultivation method was the authentic ceremony of the Ghost Clan. Lei Zhongjuan should have been like a fish in water when cultivating here. Now, he had only reached the high-level Ghost Sage realm. Moreover, he was helpless in the face of a Ghost Sage with a half-step divine weapon. This really disappointed him. If it were someone else, they would not think so. In 7 years, he had gone from an ordinary saint level to a high-level saint level. It was really scary. Others could not reach such a height, even if they spent 70 years. Lei Zhongjuan held the Ghost Claw and smiled bitterly. My lord is really abnormal. In the past, he was forced to submit to Yang Wu and was not willing at all. However, in order to take revenge, he endured it. It was not until Yang Wu showed his amazing talent that he gradually adapted to his role. However, he was still not willing to be Yang Wu's servant. Especially in the past few years, he had made rapid progress. His ambition was also growing. This was also the reason why he had not come back to find Yang Wu. He was thinking that once he became the overlord of the ghost realm, it would be easy to find trouble with his enemies. There was no need to rely on Yang Wu's power. However, when Yang Wu appeared again, the fighting strength that Yang Wu displayed was so amazing that his last bit of fantasy was extinguished. In 7 years, Yang Wu had grown to this level. If he was given 10 times more time, he would probably become one of the overlords of the transcendent being world. Lei Zhongjuan composed himself and once again joined the battle with the ghost claw and the soul-suppressing pot. This time, he used all his strength. He had to show enough strength to Yang Wu. He had not been negligent in the past few years. The ghost claw kept falling, and some ghost sages were torn apart. The soul-suppressing pot swept past, and some ghosts were suppressed and absorbed. The evil lightning bone dagger axe stabbed out again and again, breaking through the defense of one ghost sage after another. Lei Zhongjuan was completely out of control. He had never fought to his heart's content like this. He attacked without any scruples. He was no longer afraid of the ghosts and gods in this world. Because his master was here, he had a backbone. He did not know when, but Yang Wu's shadow in his heart grew bigger and bigger, occupying a dominant position in his heart. This also meant that he was completely loyal to Yang Wu. Yang Wu watched Lei Zhongjuan kill in all directions and secretly nodded. After breaking the shackles, his fighting strength has exploded. It seems that he has been suppressed for the past few years. More and more ghosts scattered between heaven and earth, and Yang Wu absorbed all of them. Under the purification of the Black Demon Thunder Orb, these souls continued to strengthen his soul fetus. His soul became more and more powerful, and he gradually touched the bottleneck of the heavenly soul stage. Once he broke through this bottleneck, his soul fetus would undergo a new round of transformation. But it was easier said than done to break through this step. Following Lei Zhongjuan's display of invincibility, the enemy's ghost saints fell one after another, and the morale of their army finally collapsed. Prince 19 is too strong. We are no match for him. Run. We shouldn't have offended Prince 19. The second prince has made a great enemy for himself. Even if I die, I don't want to be the last. I will not lose face for the second prince. Losing face is better than losing your life. Run, run. If you stay, you will only be courting death. More than half of the million soldiers were killed or injured, and they fled the evil Thunder territory in dejection. Lei Zhongjuan's army also suffered heavy losses, but they won, and these losses were nothing. Lei Zhongjuan's army continued to pursue. After devouring the ghosts of the enemy, they could become stronger. War was always the process of the ghost race becoming stronger. After calming down, Lei Zhongjuan landed in front of Yang Wu, knelt on one knee, and kowtowed. Lei Zhongjuan greets the Lord. Well, I thought you didn't remember me, your lord. Yang Wu said with his hands behind his back, facing Lei Zhongjuan. He didn't let Lei Zhongjuan stand up, and he was still angry in his heart. He passed the ghost cultivation arts to Lei Zhongjuan so that he had a chance to live. Even if he became a ghost cultivator, it was much better than him dying. The other party was also doing well in the ghost realm, but he forgot about him, his lord. It was impossible for him not to be angry. However, he didn't completely pass the ghost cultivation arts to Lei Zhongjuan. He only passed on 2/3 of it. This was also a precaution against Lei Zhongjuan. Lei Zhongjuan lowered his head deeply and said, Zhongjuan has failed to live up to the Lord's love. He couldn't defend himself. In fact, he already had the thought of leaving Yang Wu aside. Now, this thought had disappeared without a trace. This is not a place to talk. Let's find a place where we can talk. Yang Wu said lightly. Follow me, Lord, Lei Zhongjuan said, and brought Yang Wu towards his cave residence. Lei Zhongjuan's cave residence was located on the highest mountain of the evil Yin Thunder Mountain. From time to time, there would be Yin thunder descending. It wasn't a place that any ghost cultivator dared to stay. Lei Zhongjuan used the Yin thunder to temper his ghost body, which helped him to fight against the top-level ghost saint. After Yang Wu saw this mountain, he felt the different Yin thunder. A trace of interest appeared on his face. This place is really not bad. Lord, if you like, you can stay for a while. Lei Zhongjuan said fawningly. I don't have that kind of interest. Yang Wu shook his head lightly and said. They entered a spacious cave residence. Waves of Yin Qi filled the air. At the same time, there were traces of lightning energy swimming around the walls of the residence. The Yin Qi was abundant, and there was also a lot of lightning energy. It was a rare cultivation residence. The interior of the residence was quite well decorated. There were jade beds to sleep on, jade chairs, jade tables, and a Yin pond. There were even some sacred Yin items planted in it. Lei Zhongjuan said somewhat proudly, This is the place where I was conferred the title of emperor. Only then can I live in such a luxurious place. Other ghost cultivators don't have this kind of treatment. I can see that, Yang Wu calmly replied. Lei Zhongjuan sensed Yang Wu's unhappiness. He quickly knelt down again and said, Lord, please give me another chance. I will definitely not have any second thoughts. You also know that you have second thoughts. To think that I came all the way to find you. I was afraid that you had already died in the ghost domain, so I rushed over to collect your corpse. Yang Wu coldly snorted. I'm sorry, Lord. I was too pleased with myself for a moment. I, Lei Zhongjuan, swear that from today onwards, I will be loyal to Lord. I will definitely not have second thoughts. Otherwise, I will be struck to death by 5 bolts of lightning and will never be reincarnated. All right, what's the point of these vows? I just want to ask you if you still want revenge. If you have already forgotten about your hatred, I will leave immediately and let you continue to stay here and call yourself emperor. This irreconcilable hatred must be avenged. Chapter 1325. Lei Zhongjuan was betrayed by his best brother in the past. His physical body was destroyed, and only his remnant soul was suppressed by the soul-suppressing pot. Fortunately, he was still alive. He had always been strong and lived on. Also that he could return and take revenge one day. Not only did his brother harm him, but he could also harm his woman and his family. If he did not take revenge, he would not rest. Yang Wu sensed his determination and relaxed. I'm preparing to go to Purple Firmament Hall. Yang Wu said to Lei Zhongjuan. My lord, you indeed have the strength to go to Purple Firmament Hall. I'll go with you. It's time to settle the old grudge. Lei Zhongjuan said with a look of incomparable anticipation. Is it useful for you to go back with your current strength? You know better than me how strong Purple Firmament Hall is. Don't get killed the moment you go back. My lord, don't worry. There are many sacred elders who supported me. Also, my ancestor knows that I'm still alive and will definitely stand on my side. We may not lose. Then how do you solve the problem of your current identity? My ghost body is no different from a human. Returning to Purple Firmament Hall is not a problem. The problem is how to bring my ghost army. If I have their help, I'll be like a tiger that has grown wings. There's no need to bring the ghost army. Just bring some people who can help. Yes, I'll listen to you, my lord. Yang Wu and Lei Zhongjuan discussed the preparations for returning. They had a rough idea. The only benefit of borrowing Lei Zhongjuan's strength was the ancestor he mentioned. If it was really as Lei Zhongjuan said, that ancestor was on his side, the possibility of him bringing back Yu would be higher. However, it was hard to count on too much help. He still had to rely on himself. Just a little more strength, a little more help. He had to bring back his wife. He did not want any mistakes. The Purple Firmament Hall had stood tall in the transcendent world for so many years and had connections with the God realm. Their foundation was extremely strong, and if he was the slightest bit careless, he could possibly fall into a state of eternal damnation. Currently, Lei Zhongjuan did not have many trump cards. To Yang Wu, it was just icing on the cake. Yang Wu asked a few more questions about the ghost race to see if he could borrow some power from them. The ghost clan is most afraid of the power of Yang. They don't even dare to step into the purple firmament palace. The power of lightning there will turn them into ashes, Lei Zhongjun said with certainty. Looks like I really can't count on him. Yang Wu sighed softly. He paused for a moment before asking. Rumor has it that the Ghost Clan has many items of extreme Yin. Is it possible to obtain items of the divine level? There are indeed many items of extreme Yin. I have also prepared a pile of divine level herbs for my lord. They are all in my fief. There are even 2 or 3 divine level herbs. However, even I am unable to obtain them. They are all in those terrifying Yin lands. Only those who have reached the level of a ghost god have the chance to obtain them, Lei Zhongjun replied. He then said, there is another place in my fief that might be of great use to you. Where is it? Yang Wu asked. Look at the Yin pond here. It can cleanse one's soul and increase one's soul power. Actually, this is only a divine level pond. I know of a divine level pond. It is the legendary Yin Nether Spring. If you can obtain some of it, it will be of great use to any ghost cultivator. It will also be of great use to the souls of other living creatures. Lei Zhongjun said. Where is it? Yang Wu asked impatiently. My lord, follow me. Lei Zhongjun called out to Yang Wu. After leading Yang Wu out of the cave, they quickly arrived at a chasm filled with Yin energy. The Yin energy here was incomparably domineering. It contained traces of a unique underworld energy. Underworld energy was the most extreme Yin energy. Any living creature that came into contact with it would definitely die. There is a Yin nether spring below, Lei Zhongjun said as he pointed below. Why didn't the ghost race put it away or seal it? Why did they give it to you? Yang Wu asked. The Yin nether spring was an extreme Yin spring that was comparable to the water of the yellow springs. The former could nourish the strongest of Yin souls, while the latter was a fatal poisonous spring. A single drop of it would cause one to fall into the yellow springs. There are very few Yin nether springs here. In the ghost race's important territory, there is only one true Yin nether spring. It is the key to becoming a ghost god. Furthermore, the Yin nether spring is not something that anyone can refine. Even now, I dare not touch it. There are also some terrifying underworld creatures below. If my lord needs this Yin nether spring, I will mobilize the army to seize it. Lei Zhongjun explained. I want the Yin nether spring, Yang Wu said in a deep voice. He cultivated this soul tactics and could absorb these extreme Yin energies. Even if it was the Yin nether spring, he was not afraid. He also had the Black Demon Thunder Orb to purify the underworld energy. Even if it was not enough, he still had the immortal energy to protect his life. Once he obtained the Yin nether spring, he would definitely become a heavenly soul. All right, I will summon them to attack the underworld creatures below, Lei Zhongjun said decisively. Yang Wu did not mind using the ghost race as cannon fodder. After all, this was their territory. He had to keep a low profile. Lei Zhongjun's voice transmission was heard by all the ghost race living beings within a radius of 100 miles. They all rushed in this direction. There were many ghost race living beings cultivating nearby. If they could get a little bit of the underworld energy, it would be very beneficial for them. Very quickly, 50,000 ghost race living beings gathered. They quietly waited for Lei Zhongjun's orders. Help this prince obtain the Yin nether spring. Lei Zhongjun did not waste any time with them. He directly ordered. Many ghost race living beings rushed into the chasm. Woo-woo. Gusts of cold wind blew, and a lot of Yin energy surged. When these ghost race living beings rushed down, some underworld creatures indeed appeared. The first to appear was a wave of terrifying underworld insects. Each of these insects carried a terrifying killing power. If the ghost race living beings were to be bitten, they would die on the spot. Underworld insects. If I can control them, I can sweep through the ghost realm. Lei Zhongjun revealed a look of desire. As long as you diligently cultivate the ghost cultivation art, you don't have to be afraid of taking down these underworld insects. Yang Wu said, following the appearance of the underworld insects, other ghost race living beings rushed out. It was the Nether King clan. This was a higher level ghost race than the Ghost Emperor clan. You little ghosts dare to barge into our territory. Do you want to die? There were not many Nether King clan living beings. There were only a few of them. However, the fighting power they released was very strong. Strands of underworld energy formed chains and scattered many ghost race living beings. Lei Zhongjuan commanded the peak ghost saint to attack. Including himself, they finally entangled these Nether King clan living beings. My lord, you can go down. However, you must be careful. There may be big eyes down there. Lei Zhongjuan reminded. Yangwu nodded lightly. He turned into a gust of wind and rushed down. He did not suspect that Lei Zhongjuan dared to trick him. Otherwise, Lei Zhongjuan would die without a doubt. When he rushed down, the underworld energy seeped into his body. His body's defensive power could not block it at all. It began to seep into his body. Suddenly, his flesh began to shrink. A terrifying feeling of corrosion entered his bones and devoured his life force. This corrosive power was too terrifying. It was more terrifying than the extreme beings Yang Wu had encountered in the past. Yang Wu did not hesitate to use his heart fire to envelop his body. The immortality peach tree also began to absorb this energy to help him get rid of the hidden dangers. The immortality peach tree did not reject extreme yin or yang beings. It was imprinted with the immortal Tao. This energy would not harm him. When Yang Wu's heart fire appeared, the underworld creature hidden below rushed out. It was a terrifying underworld insect. It had a body like an earth dragon. There were ferocious antennae all over its body. It opened its terrifying mouth and tried to swallow Yang Wu. This was an underworld insect at the peak of the saint stage. It was the underworld insect king. Not far from it, there was a creature from the underworld king tribe. It held a trident and stared coldly at Yang Wu. It was as if Yang Wu was a dead man. Yang Wu did not dare to hold back. The Big Dipper sword appeared in his hand. He slashed out and directly cut the underworld insect king into pieces. The creature from the underworld king tribe, who did not attack, was dumbfounded. He was just waiting for the underworld insect king to kill Yang Wu. In the blink of an eye, the underworld insect king was killed. Could it be that his eyes were playing tricks on him? Even if a ghost god came, it would be difficult to kill the underworld insect king in one move. Its defensive power could be said to be unparalleled. Its life force was even more tenacious. How could it not be able to block the power of a sword? After Yang Wu killed the underworld insect king, he changed his direction and flew toward the creature from the underworld king tribe. He slashed out with the Big Dipper sword again. Split world. One sword split two worlds. The creature from the underworld king tribe roared. You are a human. How dare you be so impudent here? A battle halberd appeared behind the creature from the underworld king tribe. He faced Yang Wu's sword chi. Bang! After the sword and halberd clashed, the battle halberd was cut in half by Yang Wu's Big Dipper sword. This creature from the underworld king tribe was a half-step underworld god. His battle halberd was cut in half. He also suffered a backlash and spat out blood. The creature from the underworld king tribe was shocked. He quickly retreated. However, before he could retreat, Yang Wu's sword was already in front of his neck. His aura had completely locked onto him. If you dare to move again, I will kill you. Yang Wu threatened. The creature from the underworld king tribe was shocked. Human, what do you want to do? Get the underworld spring. Then go get it. I won't stop you. No, if you help me get it, I can spare your life. Also, I won't let you take all the underworld spring here. I just need a little. Yang Wu said as he threw a bucket-sized jade item to the creature from the underworld king tribe. When the creature from the underworld king tribe saw the jade item, his face turned green. He cried, "There isn't that much underworld spring." As soon as he finished speaking, blood appeared on his neck. "I will go get it." The creature from the underworld king tribe replied without hesitation. Don't think about running. If I want to kill you, it will only take a blink of an eye." Yang Wu replied. His aura was locked onto the creature from the beginning. He pressed the creature towards the underworld spring. When Yang Wu saw the underworld spring, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Such a big chasm and such a small amount of spring water. No wonder the ghost race doesn't care about it. Below them, The underworld spring was the size of a thumb. Compared to the chasm that was dozens of feet wide, the difference was too big. Chapter 13:26. The Dark Nether Spring's effects were not small. Aside from being able to greatly increase one's soul force, there is also the possibility of awakening one's soul talent and awakening one's memories from the previous generation, forming a soul embryo. It was the divine spring needed to break through the Jade Moon realm. A strand of the Dark Nether Spring could form a divine soul. In addition, it was also a great help for the reincarnation of the soul. After refining the Dark Nether Spring's soul, after reincarnating, one would be able to successfully reincarnate with the memories from the previous life and live a true second life. In front of this huge chasm, there was only a strand of Dark Nether Spring that was the size of a thumb. It couldn't be any smaller. No wonder the Nether King tribe said that it couldn't fill up the jade. It would take a while to fill it up. It was impossible to fill it up in one go. Yangwu didn't care too much and let the Nether King tribe collect as much as they could. The Nether King tribe didn't have a choice. They emptied the Dark Nether Spring and put it all into Yangwu's jade. However, they only filled 1/3 of it. Luckily, the Dark Nether Spring can slowly seep out. Otherwise, it would be a great loss. The Nether King tribe sighed. After Yangwu obtained the Dark Nether Spring, he didn't leave immediately. Instead, he looked in another direction and found the Dark Nether Flower. It had reached the divine realm. The Nether King tribe's eyes tightened. He said, "That's my lifeblood." Without waiting for him to finish his words, Yangwu's big hand grabbed the few stalks of underworld flowers and took them away. "I know it will regenerate. Just wait a little longer," Yangwu said as he soared into the sky and quickly left this place. After the Nether King tribe saw that Yangwu was far away, he cursed, "Damn human, you won't have a good death." As soon as he finished speaking, the power of thunder and lightning descended from the sky and struck him furiously. Bang! This thunderbolt was comparable to a true divine thunder. It split half of his body and made him scream in pain. He lost half of his life. "Heavenly God, spare me, spare me." The Nether King tribe howled. This evil Thunder territory was also a good place for Yangwu to cultivate. He could mobilize the power of the evil Thunder at any time. How easy would it be to punish the Nether King tribe? After Yangwu and Lei Zhongjuan returned to the Immortal's Cave, Lei Zhongjuan couldn't wait to ask, "Did my lord obtain it?" Lei Zhongjuan also wanted the underworld lightning, which would be of great use to his ghost body. Otherwise, he would not have told Yangwu this news. Yangwu took out the Nether Spring and said, "Here." After a pause, he asked, "Do you really want it too?" Lei Zhongjuan rubbed his hands in embarrassment and said, "My lord knows me best. Aren't I preparing to go back and take revenge? If I can obtain a trace of the Nether Spring, I will definitely be able to break through to the peak of the Ghost Saint realm. My ghost body will be even stronger. When I return to the Purple Firmament Palace, I will have more confidence." Lei Zhongjuan knelt down again, afraid that Yangwu would be angry. Yangwu said indifferently, "Don't do it again. Otherwise, I don't mind letting you die again." He was not a fool. Lei Zhongjuan's intention to use him to obtain the Nether Spring was obvious. However, Lei Zhongjuan was not only doing it for himself. Yangwu could still distinguish this point. "Yes, my lord," Lei Zhongjuan said respectfully. Yangwu gave a trace of the Nether Spring to Lei Zhongjuan and then asked, "Where is the Thunder the strongest here?" "My lord, what do you want to do? Just tell me where it is. It's not far from the Thunder Valley. Take me there." The Thunder Valley was indeed a place where the power of thunder and lightning gathered. The living beings of the Ghost Clan who could stay here were all extremely powerful. It was also the place where Lei Zhongjuan often cultivated. Many of the Ghost Clan experts in his army would also often gather here. Lei Zhongjuan taught them the body tempering technique, which was the most important reason why he won their support. The Ghost Clan also had powerful ghost cultivation techniques. However, there were very few secret techniques that could resist the attack of the Thunder. They were the secrets of the royal family. Lei Zhongjuan could share it with the living beings of the Ghost Clan, which was very important to them. After Yangwu arrived here, He looked at the traces of the Een thunder and found that there was indeed a big difference between the Een thunder and the outside world. Usually, the power of thunder and lightning was the power of the purest yang. However, the power of thunder and lightning here contained a trace of Een Qi. Its destructive power did not decrease at all, but lost the thunder and fire, which was very different. Lei Zhongjuan explained that the power of the Een thunder could easily harm the soul. It should not be touched easily. Why one is to refine the soul, Yang Wu said with a determined look. He paused for a moment. Seal this place. We will refine the Een nether spring here and increase our soul power. After that, we will leave the ghost realm. Yes, Lord, Lei Zhongjuan responded and immediately ordered the area to be cleared. Yang Wu went towards the place where the power of thunder was concentrated. Traces of Een thunder flashed. An invisible thunder power directly entered the divine court and attacked the soul. Yang Wu did not pay attention to it. His soul was very strong. Ordinary Een thunder could not harm it. Only the Een thunder of at least the god realm could threaten him. When he entered the depths of the Een thunder valley, the Een thunder became more and more concentrated. Even the ghost sages could not get close. Lei Zhongjuan also did not dare to go deeper. He chose a place to sit down and transmitted to Yang Wu, Lord, don't go too deep. The Een thunder inside is too scary. Yang Wu turned a deaf ear and continued to go deeper. There were more and more Een thunder. Not only did it affect the divine court, but it also fell on the body. The destructive power was not weak. Yang Wu did not have a great success holy body, so he would find it difficult. Yang Wu activated the 9 thunder body tempering technique and began to refine his body. In addition, he also used the Soul Control Heart Sutra to resist the Een thunder's damage to the soul. The Soul Control Heart Sutra was more powerful than the soul tactics. Suddenly, Yang Wu saw Een thunder snakes appear in front of him. These Een thunder snakes were not real life. They were condensed by the power of Een thunder. As if they had a life of their own, they pounced on Yang Wu and bit him. These Een thunder snakes drilled into Yang Wu's divine court to destroy Yang Wu's soul. Black Demon Thunder Orb. This was a strange pearl refined by Yang Wu. It could absorb any kind of thunder power, including the Een thunder snakes. Yang Wu rushed 10 miles in one breath. Tens of thousands of Een thunder snakes appeared. It was extremely terrifying. He was also injured. His soul and body felt pressure. It's about time. After Yang Wu felt the pressure, he stopped. He found an Een thunder stone and sat down cross-legged. He blocked the Een thunder snakes and took out the Een nether spring to refine it. The reason why he entered the Een thunder stone to refine the Een nether spring was to use the power of the Een thunder to increase the power of the Een nether spring. The 2 Een powers would explode with an even more terrifying power. It might be very painful and dangerous, but after enduring it, the benefits would be immeasurable. Yang Wu took out the Een nether spring, and his soul appeared. He murmured, my body is Yang, and my soul is Een. The Een nether spring can help my Een body grow quickly, but if I am not careful, it can corrupt my soul. I need to have a strong will to overcome these difficulties. If I succeed, it will help me break through to the Jade Moon realm. Yang Wu first adjusted his condition. He used the Black Demon Thunder Orb to protect his soul. He then began to absorb the Een nether spring. When the Een nether spring entered his soul's mouth, it was like poison. His soul became twisted. Yang Wu could not help but cry out in pain. In the next moment, he put away the Black Demon Thunder Orb. The Een thunder snakes surged and exploded on his soul. The 2 Een powers violently entered his soul, and his soul almost exploded. Soul Control Sutra. At this moment, Yang Wu did not immediately use the soul tactics. Instead, he used the Soul Control Sutra that he had cultivated for many years. He tightly guarded his soul and refined this violent Een power. The Soul Control Heart Sutra wasn't any weaker than the Soul Mantra, so it absorbed the Een energy very quickly. However, the destructive power of the Dark Nether Spring and the Dark Lightning Snake was even faster, almost causing him to faint. The Een energy was too terrifying. Yang Wu had a bad feeling. The way he was refining the Een nether spring seemed to be wrong. His soul could not take it anymore. He realized that he was too anxious and impulsive. I can't absorb anymore. Yang Wu decisively stopped refining the Yin nether spring. The black demon thunder orb appeared again and blocked the Yin thunder snakes. He put away his soul. After his soul returned, his body was incomparably cold. His body trembled. It was really uncomfortable. He did not hesitate to use the flame of heart to expel the Yin Qi. After the flame of heart circled around his body felt a little better. However, the Yin Qi did not dissipate. Instead, it sank into his flesh and corroded his life force. Oh no! Yang Wu exclaimed at his heart. This was the power of the Yin nether spring. It was a power that could take one's life. His lifespan was shrinking. If he could not control it, it could take his life. This was also the so-called imbalance of Yin and Yang. The Yin Qi of the Yin nether spring was too heavy. It far exceeded the Yang Qi in Yang Wu's body. It was destroying his life force. Damn it! Yang Wu cursed in his heart. He began to mobilize all of his power to stop this from happening. He kept using the ultimate circulatory cycle. The Supreme Nine Mysteries mantra guided the Yin Qi into his dantian. However, the Yin nether spring was not Xin Qi. It seeped into his flesh, bones, and organs. It affected his life force. Even the Supreme Nine Mysteries mantra could only decompose some of the Yin nether spring. It could not absorb all of it into his dantian. Immortality Peach Tree. Yang Wu had no choice but to summon the immortal immortality Peach Tree. It could devour and refine all kinds of power. This Yin Qi could also replenish its immortal Tao. Master, I can't help you. It has seeped into your body. If I absorb it, your life force will also wither, the immortal immortality Peach Tree replied. Is there no other way? Yang Wu asked in despair. There's a way to restore the balance of Yin and Yang. You can make up for the lost life force, the immortal immortality Peach Tree replied. Is there a way to restore the balance of Yin and Yang in this damn place? The Thunder God Elixir has a suppressive effect. Chapter 13:27. Thunder God's Elixir was something Yang Wu had obtained from the Thunder God's tribulation cloud. He had been using it sparingly, and a small portion of it had been given to the immortal Peach Tree. Although there was still a lot left, he had distributed it to some important people. Considering that there would be many uses for it in the future, he did not dare to waste it all at once. Now was not the time to feel heartache, so he hurriedly refined the Thunder God's Elixir. As the Thunder God's Elixir was refined, Yang Wu finally felt a trace of warmth, and his body became much more comfortable. The Netherworld Qi was finally suppressed. However, the Netherworld Qi was still there, and it had not been completely expelled. Yang Wu's face was extremely pale, as if he had just recovered from serious illness. There was no color on his face, and the power of his physical body had also been damaged. This was the terrifying part of the Netherworld Spring. A single drop could take a person's life. Even though Yang Wu had power comparable to the heavens, he could not suppress the Netherworld Qi. At the same time, his soul also suffered some damage. Fortunately, it was much better than his physical body. After all, his soul was Yin body. Under the effect of the Soul Control Sutra, he still absorbed some of the Netherworld Spring and Netherworld Thunder. These two extreme Yin powers were very domineering. Once he finished digesting them, his soul power would increase again. Thinking of this, Yang Wu wholeheartedly cultivated the Soul Control Sutra. He had to break through first. The Soul Control Sutra was divided into 5 stages: Soul Awakening, Soul Guide, Soul Body, Battle Soul, and Soul Control. Yang Wu had long since reached the final stage of Soul Control, and this stage was further divided into Soul Wander, Soul Refinement, and Soul Drop to Immortal. Yang Wu was still in the first stage, and after introducing 2 types of extreme Yin energy, he was finally able to break through to Soul Refinement. Yang Wu's Divine Court Tao Flower swayed, crazily absorbing the 2 extreme Yin powers. It had succeeded, and the damage to his soul was finally healed. His soul fetus was rapidly growing, and a majestic soul power spread out in all directions. Thus, soul refinement meant that the soul was like a bright moon hanging high in the sky, illuminating the vast earth and overlooking everything. This was the soul of the Jade Moon realm. It was also the heaven soul of the Soul Mantra. Yang Wu's absorption of the Netherine Spring and Yin Thunder could be said to have both gains and losses. His soul had grown and reached the divine soul realm, but his physical body had been corroded by the Yin Qi, losing a lot of vitality. This meant that his soul power's battle state and his senses had become stronger, but his physical body's power was suppressed. It would even affect his next breakthrough. The divine court Dao flower. The Dao flower was the flower as souls, was, ins, he, s, in heavens, s, blood, corals blood level. Divine blood corals have, s, blood, s. These saint-level items could help saint-level creatures increase their strength and lifespan, but to Yang Wu, they could only suppress the netherworld's power. Yang Wu didn't want to stay here any longer. He felt cold. He needed to refine a yang replenishing divine pill to solve the problem in his body. When Yang Wu came out of the netherworld Thunder Valley, he took some netherworld thunder snake grass with him. There were god-level and saint-level ones. They were all very useful to him. Lei Zhongjuan's refinement of the nether spring was much smoother than Yang Wu's. He was originally a ghost, and a wisp of nether thunder had made him walk in front of the gates of hell. But after enduring it, his ghost body had reached a higher level, and his strength had become stronger. He had broken through to the realm of a top-level ghost saint, and the Yin Qi on his body had become thicker. "Master, what's wrong with you?" Lei Zhongjuan was shocked when he saw Yang Wu's pale face. Yang Wu waved his hand and said, "It's nothing. We should go." Lei Zhongjuan didn't dare to ask again. He could sense that Yang Wu's cultivation must have gone wrong. They didn't go far before Yang Wu asked, "You refined the netherworld spring." "It's a success," Lei Zhongjuan said excitedly. "How did you refine it?" "The ghost cultivation method can easily refine the netherworld spring. Although it's a little painful, it's still bearable. I've also remembered part of my lost memories. This time, I'm more confident when I return to the Purple Cloud Palace." "That's good." After Yang Wu and Lei Zhongjuan returned to the cave residence, they once again discussed how they should act. Yang Wu decided to split up with Lei Zhongjuan. He would depart from the Yang clan and gather all the experts to support him. Lei Zhongjuan, on the other hand, would depart from the ghost realm. The two groups would finally meet in front of the Purple Firmament Palace. Although Lei Zhongjuan was from the ghost clan, as long as he took out the ghost clan's flag and openly entered the human clan's territory without harming the human clan, no one would dare to touch his brows. However, Yang Wu still minded that Lei Zhongjuan's group was a little weak. If he could get the help of one or two ghost gods, perhaps it would be more intimidating. At this point, Lei Zhongjuan said, "There are one or two ghost gods that admire me. If I can contribute some netherworld spring, perhaps they'll be willing to support me." Yang Wu did not hesitate to take out some netherworld spring and gave it to Lei Zhongjuan, saying, "Split the netherworld spring here in half and give it to them." After pausing for a moment, he said, "You can also give them a large reward. I can refine the ghost god pill. As long as they have enough ingredients, it won't be a problem at all." "Ghost god pill? Lord, are you joking?" Lei Zhongjuan exclaimed. "Do I look like someone who jokes?" Yang Wu replied seriously. "Lord, you become a godly alchemist?" Lei Zhongjuan asked again. After Yang Wu nodded again, Lei Zhongjuan almost knelt down. A godly alchemist. This was the most respected person in the transcendent realm. He never thought that Yang Wu would reach such a height in just a few years. As a follower, he instantly felt inferior. He had always felt that he was doing well in the ghost realm. However, compared to Yang Wu, he was still a follower who only had the ability to assist. If the other party did not look for him, he could find followers like him at any time. Moreover, he could find them in batches. A godly alchemist would never lack followers. "Lord, don't worry. I will definitely bring a few ghost gods to hold the line. We will go to the Purple Firmament Hall together and take back what belongs to us," Lei Zhongjuan said confidently. Before, he only had a 50% chance of success. Now, he had at least an 80% chance of successfully going to the Purple Firmament Hall. His enemies from before should tremble. After Yang Wu and Lei Zhongjuan finished their discussion and obtained a batch of otherworldly items from Lei Zhongjuan, they prepared to leave the ghost realm. In order to avoid trouble, Lei Zhongjuan planned to send a ghost army to escort Yang Wu. He also planned to offer his command medallion to Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not need these. He summoned the Thunder Tribulation Cloud and left on it. Lei Zhongjuan looked at the leaving Yang Wu and sighed. My lord is indeed a dragon among men. I'm afraid the transcendent realm will not be able to accommodate a true dragon like him. In the next moment, Lei Zhongjuan began to summon all the ghost sages to discuss the matter of going to the Purple Firmament Hall. Outside the ghost realm, Jiang Ping did not go far. Instead, he wandered outside. This guy was also a weirdo. He did not even let the female ghosts go. He had stayed here for less than a month and had already hooked up with several female ghosts. Those female ghosts were even willing to offer him some otherworldly items that were not easy to obtain. This guy was also willing to give these female ghosts some yang energy to help them grow. This made these female ghosts even more unwilling to leave his side. Jiang Ping was a playboy everywhere, but he was still able to cultivate and multitask. It was really perverse. Senior brother hasn't come out yet. I'm afraid he's in trouble. Jiang Ping sighed softly. He was still waiting to go to the Heavenly King Palace with Yang Wu. During this period of time, he did not want to be separated from Yang Wu. He regretted not going deep into the ghost realm with him. Perhaps he could have gotten some otherworldly items. He did not take it to heart. It was the same waiting here. If his senior brother did not come out, he would reluctantly become the chief disciple of the Heavenly Palace. Just as he was having fun with the female ghosts, Yang Wu appeared above his head. You have such a strong taste. You don't even let ghosts go. Jiang Ping was shocked by the sudden appearance of Yang Wu. The timid female ghosts even hid behind him. Jiang Ping patted his heart and patted the female ghost beside him. Don't be afraid. He's my senior brother. He won't hurt you. Then he said, I'm preparing to leave. I can't bring you with me. Take care. After saying that, he blew a mouthful of yang energy to the girls. After the girls shared it, they all cried. Husband, can you stay? I can't bear to part with you. A female ghost in red pulled Jiang Ping's arm and said. Another female ghost, who was dressed in blue and white, cried the loudest. Husband, I'm already yours. How can you be so heartless? I still want to be with you for all eternity. Woo-woo. Husband, are you never coming back? What's the point of us being alive? We are ghosts, and husband is a human. It's difficult for humans and ghosts to be together. Thank you for accompanying us these past few days. When Yang Wu heard the words of these female ghosts, he was immediately shocked by Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping was probably the only person in the world who could coax the female ghosts. Jiang Ping also had a look of reluctance on his face as he said, My wives, don't cry. Your husband has a great vengeance on his shoulders, and I have no choice but to do this. These past few days have been the happiest days of my life to be able to spend time with my wives. In the future, I will definitely come to see my wives again. I hope that my wives will take good care of themselves and remember not to take life lightly. After hearing Jiang Ping's words, the female ghost cried even harder. After Jiang Ping comforted them, the female ghosts finally calmed down. Yang Wu watched quietly from his side. He couldn't help but give Jiang Ping a thumbs up in his heart for his ability to coax people. What an infatuated man. Jiang Ping left with Yang Wu. He looked back 3 times with every step. He really looked infatuated. When they couldn't see the female ghosts anymore, Jiang Ping sighed in relief and laughed. Sigh, I was almost killed by these female ghosts. Fortunately, I was smart enough to escape. Yang Wu's thumbs up in his heart turned into a middle finger. What AB asterisk TCH? Chapter 1328. Purple Firmament Palace. When Yang Wu announced that he would be going to the Purple Firmament Palace to bring back his wife, Yu, the atmosphere changed. Yu was the holy maiden of the Purple Firmament Palace. Her status was very high, and she was a top beauty. Who knew how many young geniuses wanted to become Tao companions with her? Even the geniuses of the Longevity Palace, Kunlun, and Moon Worship demonic sect had tried to sound them out. One could see just how popular Ziyu was. Ziyu followed Yongwu everywhere he went. She even called him husband. This was no secret. In the eyes of outsiders, Yongwu was a good match for Ziyu. Even if the Yang family couldn't compare to the Purple Firmament Palace, after the Yang family defeated the Xing family and Yongwu became a godly alchemist, there should be no obstacles between the two. Unfortunately, the Purple Firmament Palace didn't seem to want to help them. When Yongwu became a godly alchemist, the Purple Firmament Palace sent a Jade Moon expert to kill Yongwu. If it weren't for Yongwu's senior brother arriving in time, Yongwu would have most likely been killed. After what happened, was it possible for the two of them to be together? Within the Violet Firmament Palace, a few Jade Moon eccentrics were arguing about this matter. Ziyu's matter wasn't something that a Sage Realm Elder could decide. Yongwu really has guts. He dares to openly threaten the Purple Firmament Palace. Does he really think we can't do anything to him just because he has the protection of the remnants of the Heavenly Palace? An old man with fluttering hair shouted angrily. This old man's eyes were round, and he was full of hostility. It was obvious that he wasn't a good person. Another middle-aged man in purple armor said, "The youngest divine apothecary in history does indeed have such confidence, but he is still young and frivolous. Young people can't be called young if they don't have any temper at all. I think Yongwu isn't bad either. Why don't we just let them be? They'll be a great help to our Purple Firmament Palace." Another amiable old man said with a smile. Lei Yaoxian, who had participated in the killing of Yongwu, also said, "It's better to befriend Yongwu than to make him an enemy." Lei Yaoxian had seen with his own eyes how Yongwu had killed quite a few deities. Once Yongwu broke through to the Jade Moon realm, he would definitely become one of the top deities. It wouldn't be a problem for him to become an overlord in the future. This was why he had changed his mind. We can all see Yongwu's potential, but it's a pity that this is only the transcendent realm. In the human realm, he's not bad, but in the deity realm, he's still just a child. Without a large amount of resources, he'll only be an overlord in this lifetime. It'll be hard for him to surpass the limits of the human realm. The old man with flying hair said faintly. He then continued, "Moreover, the deity realm's emissary is about to bring that child Yu away. Yu and Yongwu definitely won't be together. Is it really okay for us to force that little girl Yu like this? What if in the future she rises to power in the deity realm and is filled with hatred for our Purple Firmament Palace? What will we do then? Haha, you can relax. When she reaches the deity realm, when that little girl sees a wider stage, she'll definitely make friends with even more outstanding young talents. She'll forget about Yongwu. Then should we snipe Yongwu and forbid him from going to the Purple Firmament Palace? No, let him come to the Purple Firmament Palace and trample him to the bottom. Let him completely give up or even kill him." Yongwu and Jiangping returned to the Yang clan. At this moment, the Yang clan city was many times more lively than before. The youngest divine apothecary in history and the Apothecary Alliance's branch were here. Just these two attractive attractions were enough to attract many apothecaries. Following the arrival of the apothecaries, even more martial artists would flood in. Moreover, the Yang clan had formed an alliance with a dozen or so other forces, once again displaying the Battle Clan's Yang clan's glory. This was also the reason why the Yang clan had become so lively. After Yongwu returned to the Yang clan, his pale face gave his clansmen a big fright. Yongwu didn't have time to explain to them. He immediately gathered a batch of herbs and began to refine the Yang replenishing divine pill. He had to resolve the inhale qi in his body as soon as possible. Yongwu placed the place where he refined pills in the medicine god hall. It was extremely quiet there, and he didn't have to worry about being disturbed. There were also large amounts of divine herbs and saint herbs in the medicine god hall. Those that couldn't be found in the outside world could be found here. It wasn't difficult for him to refine the Yang replenishing divine pill. A cauldron of Yang replenishing divine pill was successfully refined, attracting 2 levels of divine lightning tribulation. Yongwu was still affected by the inhale qi. Otherwise, he would definitely be able to refine a 3rd tribulation divine pill. Yang Wu swallowed a yang replenishing divine pill, and the surging yang qi entered his four limbs. His vitality was rapidly recovering, and he was also seizing the territory of the yin nether qi. These two forces actually began to compete, wreaking havoc on him to the point where he wanted to die. Yang Wu really didn't expect the yin hell qi to be so difficult to deal with. Fortunately, the yang replenishing divine pill's yang qi was astonishing, and he began to gain the upper hand. At this point, Yang Wu once again took out a strand of yin hell spring to absorb. This time, he was sufficiently prepared. There definitely wouldn't be any accidents. This time, Yang Wu didn't dare to directly absorb it with his soul. Instead, he used the divine court Dao flower to absorb the yin hell spring. The divine court Dao flower could absorb the yin hell qi's energy to strengthen the Dao flower. As the divine court Dao flower absorbed the yin hell spring, the Dao flower grew, and its soul became stronger. The yin hell qi that seeped into his body continued to clash with the yang replenishing divine pill's energy. Soon, a balance of yin and yang was formed again, helping him to resolve the hidden dangers in his body. The immortal immortality peach tree also absorbed a lot of yang qi. It was also quietly growing. Yang Wu's cultivation level quietly reached the peak of level 7 star pattern realm. His improvement was too fast. If it wasn't for the yin hell qi, this yang replenishing divine pill would definitely allow him to break through to level 8 or even level 9 star pattern realm. Yang Wu heaved a sigh of relief and said, "After getting rid of the hidden dangers, I'll go see clan leader Jinghai. It's time for me to leave." Yang Wu left the Medicine God Palace and returned to the Yang clan. Before he could see Yang Jinghai, he heard the news of the skinny monkey Sun Do's arrival. He was instantly overjoyed. Yang Wu couldn't wait to welcome the skinny monkey back. Sun Qian also came with the skinny monkey. If the skinny monkey transformed, the two of them would look like twin brothers. Their auras were extremely shocking. They had both reached level 5 star pattern realm, which wasn't inferior to Jiangping's. "Big brother," the skinny monkey said excitedly when he saw Yang Wu. He had already heard the news of Yang Wu becoming a godly alchemist. He was very happy for Yang Wu. Sun Qian, on the other hand, didn't seem to care. He didn't think much of Yang Wu either. The Saint clan loved to fight, and they were born with amazing battle constitutions. Once they rose to prominence, they would be a superior race. He didn't care about Yang Wu's status. "Come with me. I have something to say to you." Yang Wu responded and pulled the skinny monkey away. He also asked someone to take care of Sun Qian first. Sun Qian didn't appreciate it. He strolled around the Yang clan alone. "Big brother, did you call me here in such a hurry because of the marriage?" the skinny monkey asked. "It has something to do with that," Yang Wu replied. Then he said seriously, "I saw a very powerful being from the Saint Do tribe. I need your help. Help me convince him to lend me a hand. It can also be considered as giving him a chance to save himself." "Big brother, is this true? There are people from the Saint clan in the Transcendent Realm?" the skinny monkey said with surprise. "Of course." Yang Wu explained Do Yan's situation to the skinny monkey. He didn't know if the skinny monkey could convince Do Yan. If he couldn't, then he would have to give up on this plan. After the skinny monkey heard this, he thought for a moment and said, "The bloodline of the Saint Do race is a bloodline that loves to fight. They're also arrogant. Big brother, you don't have enough strength to subdue them. It will be very difficult to get them to work for you. Now that the Saint Do race is almost extinct, I will try to reason with them. I believe they will be willing to help you." He paused for a moment and then said, "We can't let Sun Qian know about this for now. Otherwise, it will ruin everything. What's going on between you and Sun Qian?" Yang Wu asked the question in his heart. "He and I are considered to be of the same body. Perhaps one day, we will become one." The skinny monkey-like man revealed a trace of worry. "If that's the case, I will kill him first." "Big brother, don't do that. We will deal with the matter between us personally. He won't do anything to me now. Wait until I break through to the Jade Moon realm. Then we will fight. In the end, the winner will decide who will control the main body. This is fate. No one can stop it. Okay, if you need anything, just tell me. We brothers are of one mind." Yang Wu brought the skinny monkey to the medicine god palace and to the inheritance tower. Senior, we meet again. Look who I have brought. Yang Wu greeted Do Yan with a smile after seeing him suppressed. Little bastard, you still dare to come. Do you believe that when I break free, I will kill you first? Do Yan's aura was still fiery. He was furious to be mocked by an ant-like little guy. Yang Wu did not reply. The skinny monkey stepped forward and bowed to Do Yan. Sun Do greets Senior. In the next moment, Sun Do's body changed. Golden flame hair grew all over his body. It was as if he had turned into a demon ape. A majestic aura swept out in all directions. A pair of shining golden eyes were incomparably demonic. Now that Sun Do's power had been established, he could even fight against a top-level saint. Do Yan looked at the transformed Sun Do. His eyes were filled with surprise. A descendant of my clan? Senior, our bloodlines resonate, Sun Do said faintly. He pushed the power of his bloodline to the extreme. His anger boiled. Do Yan could not help but activate the power of his bloodline. Unfortunately, his overbearing power was suppressed by the inheritance tower and could not spread. Otherwise, Yang Wu and the skinny monkey would not be able to take it. You really are a descendant of my clan. Good, very good. Quickly kill that little bastard and save me. I will take you as my disciple and help you dominate the world. Do Yan said excitedly. The skinny monkey wiped away the embarrassment and said, Senior, he is my big brother. Chapter 1329. Yang Wu didn't stay in the inheritance tower. He let Shou Ho and Do Yan talk. Whether they succeeded or not depended on Shou Ho. He once again returned to the Yang clan and found Yang Jinghai, who was cultivating soul tactics. He was being protected by a saint's spirit flower, which nourished him and prevented his soul from collapsing. Yang Wu had moved this soul pool from the medicine god hall. Yang Jinghai's cultivation here was much easier, and his soul power was much stronger. Yang Wu called Yang Taihe over and gave him the dark underworld spring water. He had him help Yang Jinghai absorb the dark underworld spring water and prepare for his reincarnation. Yang Taihe took the dark underworld spring water and said, Dark underworld spring water can only be found in the ghost region. You actually dare to go there and steal food from the tiger's mouth. That's too risky. Little ancestor, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Help clan leader Jinghai absorb the dark underworld spring water first. When our Yang clan has a new baby, we'll let him reincarnate. When that time comes, there won't be any risks. Furthermore, the new baby will be extremely powerful, Yang Wu said with anticipation. Yang Jinghai said gratefully, Thank you, clan leader, for your kindness. Clan leader Jinghai, please don't say that. You've done so much for the Yang clan. This is what you deserve. When you're reborn, you'll be the clan leader again. Yang Wu replied, It doesn't matter if I'm a clan leader or not. I must become stronger and trample all those fellows from the Xing clan under my feet. Yang Jinghai replied, All right, leave this matter to me. There are many people outside looking for you. Chu Rong is receiving them. Quickly go and deal with them. Yang Taihe said, All right, I'll go. Yang Wu nodded and rushed to the outer courtyard to meet those who were willing to follow him to the Purple Firmament Hall. He needed God-level experts. Those who weren't at this level didn't have the right to follow him. Yang Wu didn't expect many people to risk their lives for him because of the God-level pills. After all, the Purple Firmament Hall was a colossus. Those who went with him might not be able to return alive. When he arrived at the outer courtyard to greet the newcomers, he was slightly taken aback. There were quite a few people gathered here. Not only were there humans, but there were also spirit demons and outsiders. Chu Rong introduced them. This is our clan leader, Yang Wu. Greetings, clan leader Yang Wu. When the living beings saw Yang Wu, they all stood up and cupped their hands. Yang Wu looked around. The 8 living beings before him had indeed reached the divine level. He nodded in satisfaction and said, Introduce yourselves. A non-humankind being with a tiger head and a human body stood up and said with a buzzing voice, Leader Yang Wu, I am Hu Meng from the Tiger Men clan. As long as you can concoct a magic pill for me to improve my cultivation, I will accompany you. This tiger-headed man's baleful aura was astonishing. His voice was loud and clear, as if an ancient fierce tiger had come out of its cage, giving off an oppressive feeling. Following the introduction of this tiger tribe member, the other living beings also stood up to introduce themselves. Human clan's Dang Huaigong. A short, old man from the human clan said simply. This person's aura was already rotting, and he did not have much life left. It was clear that he wanted to take a gamble and show his support for Yang Wu in exchange for the life-extending divine pill. Human clan's Prince Tan. I'm sure clan leader Yang Wu has heard of my great name. An extremely young man waved a fan of beauty and said with a face full of arrogance, Qing Xian Feng Shi. I need the Dragon Phoenix pill. A woman from the Spirit Demon clan said coldly. The other four were the human clan's Chao Yaoyan, the human clan's Xianyuan Ba Dao, the flame clan's Hua Li Zun, and the river demon clan's Shui Weining. Chao Yaoyan was an introverted middle-aged man. He was handsome, and his bangs hung down. His eyes were filled with the vicissitudes of life. He was a man that could captivate young women. Xianyuan Ba Dao was an old friend of Zue Lao. Yang Wu did not expect him to appear here and pretended not to know him. Xianyuan Ba Dao had already broken through to the Jade Moon realm, and his undisguised aura was very domineering. The Flame Clan's fire glass goblet was covered in flames. It was very dazzling, and no one dared to approach him. They were afraid that if they touched a trace of his flames, they would be burned to death on the spot. The River Demon Clan's Shui Weining was a graceful young woman. She looked very delicate, but if one dared to underestimate her, they would not even know how they died. These 8 divine-level life forms gathered together was enough to make people fearful. This was Yang Wu's charisma as a divine alchemist. The only thing Yang Wu was dissatisfied with was that the overall strength of the 8 god-class creatures was not too strong. Apart from Deng Huaigong, who had reached the 6th level of the Jade Moon realm, the others were all beginner god-class creatures. Yang Wu could not say anything. Those above, the mid-divine level life forms, would not take risks easily. They had long lifespans, and most of them belonged to large factions. To have these 8 divine level life forms come was enough to make Yang Wu feel gratified. They did not rely on Yang Wu's help. They were hired as protectors to go with him to the Purple Firmament Palace. When they returned, he would pay them. This trip to the Purple Firmament Palace does not bode well. Are you all prepared? Yang Wu said the ugly words first, in case someone changed their mind. As long as you agree to our conditions, there will be no problem. It was Meng who spoke first again. That's right. Young Master Tan waved his fan. They all wanted to refine divine pills, but they all wanted different divine pills. There are no problems with your conditions, but I want to make one thing clear. At the critical moment, if anyone does not put in the effort, don't blame me for not recognizing you. Yang Wu said indifferently. His soul floated, and a powerful pressure was generated. It collided with the divine level life form's aura, giving them some pressure. The 8 divine level life forms' eyes twitched, and their faces were filled with surprise. They did not think that Yang Wu would have the guts to provoke them. If you could take one of my palms, I will work for you. Xianyuan Badeo said faintly. This is not the place to fight. Yang Wu replied. Then let's go outside. Xianyuan Badeo said. He walked out of the house and instantly soared into the sky. Yang Wu brought Chu Rong and followed closely behind. The other divine level life forms did not hesitate and followed one after another. They came to the 9th heaven outside the clouds. Here, they did not have to worry about power destroying everything on the ground. Take on my palms. Xianyuan Badeo said that he would fight. He did not give Yang Wu too much of a chance. A tyrannical divine palm with a torrential divine power blasted towards Yang Wu. Under the palm, heaven and earth collapsed. Yang Wu was no longer the dough of the past. The moment Xianyuan Badeo attacked, the aura on his body surged, and the power of the stars gathered. The power in his dantian was like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, and he returned the same palm to Xianyuan Badeo. Tyrannical divine palm against tyrannical divine palm. Boom! An earth-shattering palm force collided with each other. Ferocious firepower rippled out wave after wave, dispersing many clouds. The deities stood where they were, ignoring the shock waves. When they saw that Yang Wu had only been forced back a few dozen feet, shock flashed across their faces. They clearly saw that Yang Wu was only at the 7th level of the Star Rune Realm, but Yang Wu was actually able to block the power of Xianyuan Bidao's divine palm. It must be known that Xianyuan Bidao was not at the 1st level of the Jade Moon Realm, but at the 2nd level of the Jade Moon Realm. Even if he only used 50% of his power, it was not something a saint-level life forms could block. In addition, Yang Wu and Xianyuan Bidao's palms were exactly the same. The two of them were most likely related. Patriarch Yang Wu's strength is not bad, Xianyuan Bidao said faintly. Shui Weining let out a bell-like laugh. I did not expect that not only is Patriarch Yang Wu's alchemy skills good, but his strength is also so powerful. Seeing this, my heart palpitates. Shui Weining was wearing a blue muslin dress, her body soft and moving. Coupled with her pleasant voice, she was an enchanting demoness. If I didn't have the ability, I wouldn't dare to enter the purple firmament hall. Yang Wu confidently replied. Then he added, I don't have time to delay. I will set off today. After Yang Wu's announcement, the 8 divine-level life forms also became serious, ready to accompany Yang Wu at any time. After returning to the Yang family, Yang Wu brought Yang Chaolin, Duanren City Lord, and Chu Rong. In addition, he had Yang Ba, Su Chu, Qing Feng, white-haired demoness, and other capable confidants sit on the Flood Dragon Stone War Chariot. They brought the betrothal gifts and majestically headed towards the purple firmament hall. When Yang Wu set off, the news spread throughout the battle world and quickly spread to the transcendent world. The battle tribe's Sun family's ancestor Sun Tiezhen rushed out. Patriarch Yang Wu is welcoming his bride. How can our Sun family be absent? We will lend him a hand. The Sun family's people were very sentimental. Since they chose to ally with the Yang family, they would not sit idly by. In addition to the Sun family, the Hung Mountain School also sent Ning Zhouzheng to support. Although they were unhappy that Yang Wu went to the Purple Firmament Hall to marry Yu Yu and not to the Hung Mountain School, they had no choice but to lend a hand. Yang Wu was already their Hung Mountain School's son-in-law. How could they not care about his matters? What's more, Shu Yujun said, to be able to become sisters with the Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden, there is nothing to be ashamed of. Since she said so, what else could the others say? In addition, the Dan family's people also moved out. The Dan family had never participated in disputes. They only knew their place and developed their alchemy skills. However, they had no choice but to help Yang Wu. Yang Wu was already a godly alchemist, and it was said that he had obtained the inheritance of the Medicine God Palace. Dan Zi was also Yang Wu's disciple. For various reasons, they had to send people to support him. The support of these factions was not shocking enough. The Apothecary Alliance's support shocked all the factions in the Transcendent world. Xiang Dingtian announced at the Apothecary Alliance's headquarters, My junior brother is marrying the Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden. As his senior brother, I will support him fully. Following his announcement, everyone in Tripod City heard it. Thus, the godly beings under the Apothecary Alliance all moved out. Under Miaoqi's lead, they rushed to the Purple Firmament Hall. Xiang Dingtian also said that when Yang Wu arrived at the Purple Firmament Hall, he would appear there and personally act as the matchmaker for his junior brother. Xiang Dingtian's words undoubtedly announced that he belonged to the Heavenly Palace, completely destroying the Apothecary Alliance's neutral image. The enemies of the Heavenly Palace all became vigilant. Fortunately, the Apothecary Alliance was exposed. If the Apothecary Alliance developed further, wouldn't Xiang Dingtian be able to reorganize the Heavenly Palace with a wave of his hand? On this day, all the factions in the Transcendent world focused their attention on the Purple Firmament Hall. Chapter 1330. Big news, big news. Yang Wu, the Divine Apothecary, is heading to Purple Firmament Hall to marry Fairy Yu Yu. Yang Wu, Yang Family Patriarch, Divine Apothecary, Apothecary Alliance's Honorable Alliance Head. He is only 28 years old, not even 30 years old. He is full of glory, stunning the entire transcendent realm. He is completely worthy of Fairy Yu. Will Purple Firmament Hall break them apart? It has long been rumored that Purple Firmament Hall wants nothing more than to kill Yongwu. Now that Yongwu's power has been established, having such a son-in-law is also very good. Purple Firmament Hall shouldn't act rashly. Purple Firmament Hall has been a giant power for 1,000,000 years. Their foundation is astonishing. They have many heaven-piercing realm powerhouses as well as divine apothecaries. If they can obtain Yongwu's help, they will be like a tiger that has grown wings. However, it is reasonable for them to not accept Yongwu because they don't need him. Fairy Yu and Yongwu have feelings for each other. It is indeed a beautiful story for the two of them to be together. However, I heard that Yongwu is dissolute by nature and is not a good match for her. All sorts of rumors spread throughout the transcendent realm. Every restaurant was discussing the matter of Yongwu and Fairy Yu. Many powers sent people to Purple Firmament Hall to find out if there was a good ending between Yongwu and Fairy Yu as soon as possible. Purple Firmament Hall was located in the Purple Thunder Domain. This domain was named after the territory they occupied. It meant that the entire domain belonged to Purple Firmament Hall. No matter how big or small a power was, they were all under their jurisdiction. The Purple Thunder Domain was located in the southeast of the Transcendent Realm. It was close to the Eastern Sea, the southern border, and other places. The people of this domain were valiant, and the overall strength of the warriors was very strong. Yongwu and his group departed from the battle race. They did not use the spatial gate, but instead flew at full speed on Saint-level battleships and war chariots. It would take them 2 months. The reason why Yongwu wanted to do this was firstly to build momentum, and secondly, he hoped to attract more experts to join and strengthen his reputation. The Yang family dispatched 3,000 Black Tortoise Army troops and 3,000 Azure Dragon Army troops. They were all battle-hardened warriors, and their auras were extremely mighty and majestic. Each of them stood on a battleship and moved forward in a mighty manner. Yongwu sat on the stone flood dragon war chariot, with Yongba, Su Chu, Qing Feng, and the white-haired demoness protecting him. If not for Jiang Ping, the flower thief, shamelessly following them around, they would appear even more impressive. As for those deity-level beings, they followed in secret and did not show themselves. Wherever they went, forces came forward to greet them. These forces also knew that Yongwu was in a hurry, so they didn't dare to block his way. They just congratulated Yongwu from afar and wished him a smooth return. Of course, there were also some people who came to watch because they wanted to bet on Yongwu's elegance. Yongwu's trip had indeed caused a great commotion. Even some people with bad intentions didn't dare to act rashly. Otherwise, they would be killed by those deity-level experts. When they were about to leave the battle world, a voice rang out, "Sun Tiezhen is here." An old man walked out of the void. It was one of the ancestors of the Sun family, Sun Tiezhen. Yongwu hurriedly stood up and cupped his hands. "Elder Sun, thank you for your trouble." "Ha! Nephew Yongwu, this old man had no choice but to come for your wedding." Sun Tiezhen laughed loudly. With Sun Tiezhen's participation, the Yang family's aura became even stronger. When they got out of the world of battles, another group of people rushed over. "Master, Lu Ji is here." Lu Ji sat on a seemingly simple war chariot, bringing Yang Lulu and some other people with him. "I didn't inform you. Why are you here?" Yongwu was touched when he saw Lu Ji. "How can I not come for the master's big event? I brought some helpers." "They came because of your name," Lu Ji replied. Yongwu glanced at the people Lu Ji brought. They were all at the saint level. He cupped his hands and said, "Thank you very much." This group of people might not be from Wudong, but at least they were related to Wudong. Wudong was a neutral sect and didn't participate in the general trend of the forces. Lu Ji brought this group of people, which already represented Wudong's attitude. Yongwu and his group continued to move forward. After a few days, the 5 heroes of AO Sword arrived at the same time. The people they brought were all elders of their respective forces. These people were all at the saint level. Yongwu didn't think they would be very useful, But the 5 heroes of Ao Sword's intentions made him very happy. Yang Wu and his group gathered more and more people. Even 100 flower sects sent people to help. Sure Wan Mei and Yang Karen appeared at the same time, which immediately attracted Jiang Ping's attention. He quickly went to the two women. The two women recognized Jiang Ping and were shocked. They avoided him as if he was a poisonous snake. Yang Wu also warned Jiang Ping, not allowing him to be presumptuous to the people around him. After a month, a large group of people from the Pharmacist Alliance arrived. Miao Miao Qi brought 12 god-level creatures. This was a very shocking force. It made the god-level creatures who followed Yang Wu feel very confident. Vice Leader Miao, I'm sorry to trouble you, Yang Wu said, ashamed. He didn't think that something he did would cause such a big commotion. Moreover, he was surprised that Xiang Dingtian supported him so strongly. However, this gave him enough confidence. There were more than 20 god-level creatures going to the Purple Cloud Palace. He didn't have to worry. After everything was ready, Yang Wu and his group sped up and went to the Purple Cloud Palace. When they arrived at the Purple Thunder Realm, an emissary from the Purple Firmament Hall appeared on a purple snake war chariot. He was an expert who had reached the heaven-piercing realm. He faintly said, Yang Wu, you brought so many soldiers and horses to my Purple Thunder Realm from afar. Are you declaring war on my Purple Firmament Hall? You already know why I'm here. Why ask? Yang Wu stood up and replied, If you're not here to start a war, then please go back. Our saint has already been betrothed to someone else. She won't marry again, the Immortal Realm Elite said. Yang Wu's face immediately darkened. He shouted, Everyone advance. It was obvious that the Purple Cloud Palace wanted to send him back. How about he just let it go? Yang Wu, don't make a mistake, the Immortal Realm Elite said loudly. Don't make a mistake. It's your Purple Cloud Palace. My family's leader is talented. He's a good match for your saint. You old farts want to stop them. You deserve death. Yang Hanlin shouted. Don't waste words with him. Let's kill them, Jiang Ping said. Just as Yang Wu and his group passed through, another figure came over. Protector Lei He, please let Yang Wu's godly alchemist and his group into the palace. The person who came was Zhou Aoyan, the half-step Immortal Realm Elite who had been controlled by Yang Wu. Yang Wu sighed to himself, being controlled by a puppet technique and still being able to get rid of it. The Purple Cloud Palace is really strong. Even if you go to the Purple Cloud Palace, you'll just be ignored, the person called Lei He said. He turned around and disappeared. Senior brother, it seems like they don't welcome you, Jiang Ping said beside Yang Wu. Whether they welcome me or not is not up to them. It's up to my wife, Yang Wu said in a low voice. They once again advanced with the whole army. The big and small forces in the Purple Thunder Realm watched from afar. They want to see if these people could cause any trouble in the Purple Cloud Palace. After a few days, they finally arrived in front of the Purple Cloud Palace. The Purple Cloud Palace was built in a paradise where purple qi gathered. It was surrounded by thunder mountains. The purple qi was astonishing. The canyon was clear at a glance. The forest and flowers were in picturesque disorder. Palace after palace rose steeply from the ground and blended with the surrounding scenery. It was like a paradise, beautiful and magnificent. Among them, there was a huge palace door that towered above the 9 heavens. The 3 majestic words, Purple Cloud Palace, were engraved on it. It was very dazzling. In front of the door, a battle team appeared. They held battle weapons and lined up on the left and right. Their aura was shocking, like celestial soldiers and generals. It was shocking. A group of sacred elders from the Purple Cloud Palace came out to wait for the arrival of Yang Wu's group. At first glance, the Purple Cloud Palace's way of welcoming guests was very grand, but in reality, it was extremely neglectful of Yang Wu's group. Not to mention how noble Yang Wu's identity was. Just the wave of divine-level creatures behind him was enough for the Purple Cloud Palace to send divine-level characters to welcome him. Now, they only sent a group of sacred elders to wait here. It was very obvious that they did not welcome Yang Wu's group. A person from the Purple Cloud Palace came forward and said politely, "Welcome to the Purple Cloud Palace. If you're here to have fun, please do so. If you want to enter my Purple Cloud Palace's important area, Please show your visiting card. Yang Ba stood out and said, Does your purple cloud palace like to waste time doing things? Our clan leader wants to welcome back the clan leader's wife, Zuu. Today, we brought betrothal gifts. Please don't get in the way and spoil the relationship between our two clans. Yang Ba's words were very blunt. The sacred elders of the Purple Cloud Palace were displeased. A young saint stood out and shouted loudly, Who do you think you are? How dare you make a ruckus in front of our Purple Cloud Palace? Do you believe it will kill you right here? Do you think we're afraid of you? Yang Ba said with great fighting spirit. Yang Wu waved his hand, indicating for Yang Ba to stop talking. He faced the Purple Cloud Palace and said loudly, Slug, Big Brother is here to take you home. Yang Wu's voice was mighty, directly transmitting into the heart of the Purple Cloud Palace. On the peak of a mountain, a purple-clothed young lady was sobbing uncontrollably as she watched this scene. This girl was none other than Zuu. She was dressed in purple, perfectly wrapping her exquisite and graceful body. Her purple hair hung down to her waist, like willow silk gently swaying. That soul-stirring, beautiful face made everything around her pale in comparison. Big Brother Wu, lore husband, lore husband. The young girl screamed with all her might. Unfortunately, no matter how much she screamed, he couldn't hear her voice. This place had long been isolated by the restrictions of the heavenly transcendence experts. They wanted to make her despair, to make her completely give up on Yang Wu. Once you reach the God realm, you'll forget about him. A youth's afterimage appeared beside the girl and said, Get lost. Chapter 1331. The Purple Firmament Palace was one of the 3 palaces. It had been a giant force for more than 1,000,000 years. They had a solid foundation. Even if Yang Wu came with a group of deity experts, they still dared to slight them. It was enough to show that they didn't put Yang Wu's group in their eyes. As Yang Wu's voice spread to every corner of the Purple Firmament Palace, a powerful aura soared into the sky. An astonishing purple chi formed a lightning dragon that roared at Yang Wu from afar. It was filled with hostility towards Yang Wu. The deity experts of the Purple Firmament Palace still hadn't appeared. Only a few minor saint experts came out. Yang Wu, why are you here, child? A friendly voice sounded. Yang Wu's gaze fell on that person. His face flashed with incomparable surprise. Uncle Suzhong. Suzhong was Ziyu's father. His appearance was very handsome and refined. Wearing a purple robe, he looked unusually noble. His strength had reached the dragon transformation realm. In the past, Yang Wu wasn't clear about Suzhong's strength. Now, he could see it with a single glance. Other than Suzhong, there was also a good-looking young woman. She was Ziyu's mother, Wei Jingru. She wore sparkling hair accessories and gorgeous clothes. The aura of a nouveau riche was very strong. It was a far cry from her ordinary appearance in the past. Yang Wu, I haven't seen you in so many years. I didn't expect you to be so handsome and tall. Back then, you were still a little brat. Zissou looked at Yang Wu with admiration. Yang Wu couldn't help but recall the time when he was young. Slug, quickly climb up from the wall. I'll bring you to dig out the bird's nest. Little Wu, you've led you astray again. Uncle will flick your little dick 100 times as punishment. Uncle, don't do that. It's very painful. Can you change it to spanking? I'm not afraid of pain this way. You little brat, you're quite smart. Don't lead the little girl astray. Otherwise, Uncle will teach you a lesson. Uncle, this Viscount is a good person. How could I lead a slug astray? At most, I'll make her snot run a few more times. Don't worry. Uncle is worried about you the most. Don't touch the little girl's body for no reason. Men and women are different. We are still children. Suzhong had always given Yang Wu a good impression. On the contrary, Wei Jingru seemed to have always disliked him and did not give him a good look. Yang Wu never minded their attitude and always took Ziyu to play. The two of them were really childhood sweethearts. Uncle, you know how I feel about this slug. I've already bowed to heaven and earth with her. She's my wife. You'll definitely help us, right? Yang Wu looked at Suzhong with incomparable sincerity. A trace of embarrassment flashed through Suzhong's eyes. Just as he was about to respond, Wei Jingru said coldly, Yang Wu, if you know what's good for you, you'd better leave quickly. Are you already has other plans for a marriage? Don't be delusional. Yu and I have already bowed to heaven and earth. She's already my wife. Yang Wu emphasized. You're all adults. Why are you still so naive? You don't follow your parents' orders. How can a matchmaker's words make you a real husband and wife? You're just deceiving yourselves. Do you think two men and women can become husband and wife just by bowing to heaven and earth? How can there be such a good thing in the world? If you really love you'd better leave quickly. Don't waste your time here. You're not worthy of her, Wei Jingru said with a face full of ridicule. Impudent, Sun Do angrily shouted after hearing Wei Jingru's words. What kind of status did Yang Wu have? She actually said that he wasn't worthy of his daughter. These words were too much. Nowadays, which outstanding woman in the transcendent realm didn't regard Yang Wu as their Prince Charming? There was once a saintess from a power who said, marrying a husband should be marrying Yang Wu. Ever since Yang Wu became an invincible young emperor, there were still many powers that went to the Yang Wu family for marriage alliances. They all had their eyes on Yang Wu. When Yang Wu became a divine alchemist, the Yang family's doorstep was almost trampled to pieces. Although Yu Yu's status was noble, no one felt that Yang Wu wasn't worthy of her. On the contrary, many people felt that Yu Yu wasn't worthy of Yang Wu. Yang Wu waved his hand to stop Sun Do from continuing. He stared at Wei Jingru and said, Aunt, whether I'm worthy of Yu Yu or not, tell her to come out and tell me. If she doesn't want to see me or marry me, I'll turn around and leave. How can you be so shameless? In the past, when we were in Grand Xia, I already felt that you were wild and disobedient. Now, you're still the same. I'm her mother. I don't agree to your marriage. Hurry up and leave. Wei Jingru looked at Yang Wu with disgust as she waved her hand and shouted. Wei Jingru's tone wasn't ordinary. She actually dared to reprimand the youngest divine alchemist. All these years, she had followed Yu Yu in the Purple Firmament Hall and enjoyed very good treatment. That feeling of being above others was something that she couldn't bear to part with. She naturally hoped that Yu Yu would become better and better so that she could enjoy more benefits. She didn't want to return to the bitter days of the past. When she heard that Yang Wu was here to marry Yu Yu, she was furious. She didn't know about Yang Wu's current status and stubbornly thought that Yang Wu was an evil person who was here to destroy her beautiful life. It was only after the people from the Purple Firmament Hall mentioned it that she had the guts to shout at Yang Wu. When the people from the Purple Firmament Hall heard Wei Jingru being so disrespectful to Yang Wu, they secretly laughed. This would probably become the biggest joke for the newly promoted divine alchemist. There was no one else who could be scolded by a woman who was only in the heavenly fish realm. The faces of the people behind Yang Wu darkened when they heard this, especially Sun Do and Yang Ba. They really wanted to send Wei Jingru flying with a slap. Even if she was Yang Wu's mother-in-law, she couldn't be so rude. Zisu Zhong said from the side, Don't say too much. Yang Wu isn't a bad child. He then looked at Yang Wu and said, Yang Wu, I know that you're successful now and have a good relationship with Yu, but you've all grown up. You should know that there are some things that are beyond your control. Listen to Uncle and go back first. There are countless good women in the world, so there's no need to put your thoughts on my Yu. Zisu Zhong's attitude was very good, but in Yang Wu's ears, it was like a bolt from the blue, exploding his body and mind to the point that he felt extremely uncomfortable. Zisu Zhong and Yu Yu's parents were against their marriage. The side of reason was no longer on his side. Uncle, Auntie, are you really going to stop me from marrying Yu Yu? Yang Wu asked in a low voice. You just want to climb up the coattails of our Purple Firmament Hall. How about this? I'll marry my adopted daughter, Ziqi, to you, and you can forget about Yu. In the future, we'll all be one family, so there's no need to harm the harmony between us. Wei Jingru said with a trace of disdain. She paused for a moment, then waved to a woman not far from her and said, Ziqi, come here. See if the husband I found for you is satisfactory. A good-looking woman leisurely walked over. Her face was slightly red as she glanced at Yang Wu. Her heart was beating rapidly. She whispered to Wei Jingru, Ziqi has no objections. Ziqi was Ziyu's personal maidservant. She was also good-looking. Previously, she had returned to Xia to deal with Yangwu. Unfortunately, Yangwu had killed some people from the Purple Firmament Hall. He had also taught her a lesson, but he didn't kill her. Now that they met again, Ziqi was extremely moved by Yangwu. The saying, "Marrying a husband should be marrying Yangwu," was not a joke. Not only was Yangwu's ability outstanding, he was also handsome and confident. Which woman wouldn't be moved by him? The white hair she-devil couldn't hold it in any longer. She said coquettishly, "How can such a beauty be worthy of my lord? You better take a piss and look at your own reflection. Even my lord might not be interested in someone as beautiful as me." After saying that, the white hair she-devil tied up her silver hair, revealing her soul-stirring, beautiful face. She was indeed a peerless beauty. In front of her, Ziqi was nothing more than a commoner. There was no comparison at all. Ziqi looked at the white hair she-devil and was so angry that her whole body trembled. She couldn't even speak. Wei Jingru wanted to speak again, but Yangwu spoke first. "Today, no one can stop me from taking the slug away. Not even the two of you." After saying that, Yangwu's figure flashed. He took the lead and walked towards the Purple Firmament Hall's entrance. Zi Shuzhong and Wei Jingru couldn't react in time. Yangwu had already passed them. At the same time, Miao Miaoqi also spoke. "The Apothecary Alliance's Miao Miaoqi has come to visit. Is this how the Purple Firmament Hall treats its guests?" The godly realm beings behind him all released their powerful auras. It was as if they wanted to barge into the Purple Firmament Hall. On the other hand, the Black Tortoise Army and the Azure Dragon Army of the Yang clan also released their auras. They followed Yangwu and rushed towards the Purple Firmament Hall. The saints of the Purple Firmament Hall were furious. Someone shouted, "How dare you! Quickly activate the divine formation and destroy them." The people watching from afar couldn't help but feel that Yangwu's guts were too big. He actually dared to barge into the Purple Firmament Hall. Before Yangwu and the others could step into the Purple Firmament Hall, the godly realm experts finally rushed out. "Trespassing without invitation is trespassing. You must be executed." A mighty divine voice rang out. Leihe was the first to appear in front of Yangwu's group. The Purple Firmament Hall's Hall Master, Lei Duanli, followed closely behind. Yangwu stopped and looked at Leihe, Lei Duanli, and the others. Yangwu has already made his intentions clear. "I only want to bring back my wife. I don't want to be enemies with the Purple Firmament Hall. On the contrary, the Purple Firmament Hall has been my enemy many times. With my current status, is it still not enough to satisfy you? Yangwu is really good. My Purple Firmament Hall doesn't only have one saintess, Yu. We still have a few saintesses. Their beauty isn't inferior to Yu. Why are you so obsessed with her? If you are willing, I can let you meet a few saintesses. If you like them, our two clans will have a marriage alliance. It will be a beautiful story. If you're determined to barge in, I'm afraid you don't have the qualifications." Lei Duanli said smoothly. Yangwu seriously sized up Lei Duanli and sneered. "A lowly person like you doesn't have the qualifications to talk to me. How dare you? How dare you?"